All right.
Hello, everyone,
Greeting.
and welcome to another Final Fantasy tier list. Once again with Riek,
Greetings, everybody. Great to see you all again.
and we are this time we are ranking the Final Fantasy major antagonists. So you can see here we have a bunch of different antagonists from a bunch of different games. We don't have every single like minor antagonist. We just have like people who we kind of decided was like major enough to like include a spot on a tier
The
list.
people that drove the story.
Yeah. And so yeah. And you also might notice that we don't have we don't have FF11 or FF14. That's because once again it's because neither.
Well, no, we have FF14.
Or yeah, we do have FF14 this time. What am I saying? But yeah, we don't have any FF11 characters because once again neither Rick and I played it, and also we don't have Daniel from FF14 because Riek has neither of us have played. I've not played FF14 at all. Riek has not played Endwalker yet, so.
No, yeah. So
I,
this is just.
Yeah, this is basically just like we're going up to Shadow all the way up to Shadowbringers for this one.
Yep.
I've not played FF14, but I have done like I've seen a lot of videos on it, and I also have done a lot of wiki diving, so I have a
Actually, I thought that is Fan Daniel. Is that not Fan Daniel right there?
here.
Like next to Sid Alrain, or Sid from Type Zero.
Oh, this guy. That's
Yeah.
La Habrea.
The Habrea, right? I mix them up
Yeah.
sometimes.
But yeah, I've done like a lot of wiki diving, and I've watched a lot of videos on FF14, so I feel like I can make a somewhat reasonable like opinion of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, oh, was there something else I can say?
No, you got it.
Okay. Alright, so I guess without further ado, we can just go and hop in,
Yeah.
So first off, we have Garland from FF1. Where would you put Garland from FF1?
I'd put, because he's just a decent basic villain.
Yeah.
Like, I'd put him in, like, C tier, like, straight in the middle. Like, a middle tier character.
Okay.
Because he's not, like, he's not complex or anything. He's just a good basic villain.
Yeah.
And he does that pretty damn well.
Yeah. I actually would put Garland in a B tier myself, I think, because something I really like about Garland is, basically, like, so, like, the first boss in the original Final Fantasy is Garland, and, like, you defeat him, and then he, like, jumps into some kind of black hole and just disappears for the rest of the game. And then the Chaos Fiends show up, and you take them out, and then you realize that, they're actually coming from the past, so if you want to fix this problem in the present, you need to go back and solve it in the past. So you go back into the past. Oh, what's up?
I actually had a thought real quick.
What's up?
With Garland, are we counting Stranger of Paradise or just Final Fantasy 1?
We can count Stranger of Paradise if you want.
Okay, well, you've not played it, right?
Yeah, I've not played it, but like I have it.
Or read up on it.
Yeah, I have a general idea. Yeah.
I was gonna say, he's a high B if it's a Stranger of Paradise included.
Okay, so we'll
because
be here then.
Because I actually love Jack Garland as a character.
Yeah.
He's more than just the edgelord you see in the trailers. Like,
yeah.
Yes, he's an edgelord, but there's a lot to him, especially with the twist of the game.
He's an edgelord, but they do something interesting with the idea of being an edgelord.
They do something interesting with being an edgelord, and why he becomes chaos.
Yeah.
In Stranger of Paradise, and that goes with the Type 0 type twist that there is in Stranger of Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you mind spoilers?
Go and say it. I don't care.
Okay, so turns out the journey that the party members of Stranger of Paradise is on is like technically new game plus like 38. They've been going on this for forever.
Yeah.
And each time they've been going, they keep failing and failing.
Mm-hmm.
But they realize that the only way to really stop chaos, which is the party's goal in Stranger of Paradise, is for one of them to become chaos. So that the true warriors, because they're not actually the true warriors of light.
Yeah. So so it's like Type 0 mixed with like FF10 kind of sorta of like.
Yes.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Yes, but each time they get rebooted to restart their journey, they lose more and more of their actual personality. It's why Jack's whole focus is chaos, forget memory shit, that doesn't matter to the mission. All that matters is the mission.
Yeah.
Because they're being crafted each reboot of themselves to be more perfect machines.
Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that like basically like you go back through time and you discover that the one sending the Chaos Fiends through time is actually Garland, and he's become Chaos in back in time. And basically, like something I really like about Garland is more often than not in RPG, like, the first boss is usually not the main antagonist. It's usually just, like, some random, like, super strong monster to teach you the more, like, advanced mechanics of the combat system. Sometimes it is the main antagonist, but, like, usually that's just more of, like, a taste of things to come, sort of. In terms of the story. Like... And, basically, like, Like, Garland is cool because he kind of sort of does both at the same time, because when you first fight him, you have no idea he's the guy who's gonna be, like, the cause behind everything here.
Yeah, exactly. He's just there. He's a guy that's kidnapped the princess.
Yeah.
Who's just kidnapped the princess, taking her to the Chaos Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yeah, here you go. Generic knight turned evil.
Yeah.
And they also, because I've played Dissidia and also going back to Stranger Paradise,
mm-hmm.
they feed more into the cyclical loop of his life.
Yeah.
Another thing with Stranger Paradise, I'd really recommend you play it, Del.
I'll get onto it at some point.
His relationship with Princess Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that, it's revealed, like, through the multiple timelines that they've actually kind of loved each other.
Yeah.
But, like, with this final timeline where he's now Chaos, he's fully thrown that away.
Mm-hmm.
To fulfill the duty of bringing light to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that just adds a whole new layer to it. Like, it's a bit of, again, it's a retcon, but sometimes retcons work.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes retcons are good.
Yeah.
I guess it's about it for Garland.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll move on to Final Fantasy 2 with the Emperor. And,
I love Mateus.
Yeah, I really like Emperor. Fucking Mateus, Mattias, I don't know. I'll just say Mateus because that seems to be what everyone else says.
Yeah, Mateus.
I want to put him in A tier, actually, I think.
Same. He's not the best of the best, but he's such a good villain. Like, for an NES era villain, he does so much damage. He's just such... He is, like, the perfect character of, you want to kill this fucker.
Yeah. The dude is, like okay, so, like, fucking... Okay, so, like, just very simple goal, just wants to, like, conquer the world and all that. But, like, something... fucking, like, even after you kill him, he fucking returns... Literally returns from hell as the overlord of hell to continue his fucking reign. Like, dude is literally just a fucking JoJo antagonist, and I love it.
Dude is like if Dio died in part 3, but turns out he comes back at the end of part 6 as Satan instead of Poochie. It's like, okay, Poochie revives Dio, the green baby, and then, like, the green baby in JoJo transforms into Dio at the end to get Maiden Heaven while looking like Lucifer.
Yeah, I fucking...
Like...
And then also, like, you get the Souls of Rebirth, and you figure out he's also the Overlord of Heaven now.
Yeah, it's like he's split in two to take over both heaven and hell.
Yep.
And that's just the type of guy he fucking is. He will take over both. He'll find a way to take over both just to have complete control.
Yep.
And I love it.
He's a very simple antagonist, but dear lord, if he's not fun.
Yes. He's like the perfect, you love to hate him. Like, villain. And it's just great.
Yeah. Okay.
There's really not much else to say.
Yeah, simple villain, not really super interesting, but he's fun. Yeah. So, now we move on to Final Fantasy 3, and first off we have people say Xande, but I think it's actually supposed to be Zand because it's like Alexander, so like Zand.
Zand, I can see that. So yeah. Zand, God, it's hard to put him because I don't really count him as a villain because he's in the right.
Yeah,
he's in the fucking right.
Don't think of him as like he's an antagonist then. So think of him as someone in the on the opposing side then.
I'd say he's a C tier antagonist because he's just kind of there.
Yeah,
he's not super plotting or anything.
Yeah,
he's just kind of there.
He's like pretty much like a complete non-entity in FF3 because even in FF3, like like Cloud of Darkness is what you're actually trying to stop here. It's like Xan is just the guy who like is making Cloud of Darkness happen. Like he's kind of like he's definitely a priority, but he's not the priority. Like even when the story begins,
you don't even know about Cloud of Darkness until the very end.
Well, I mean, you know that like the world is in danger. That like something to do with like bringing darkness into the world, like yada yada yada. So,
and and the story Xande is behind that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, like, his backstory of He's just got completely fucked over.
Yeah, basically put yourself in Zan's shoes for a moment. You're one of the students of the art, the greatest sage in all of mankind. He turns to one of his pupils and he gives them complete and unmatched knowledge over magic. He turns to his other one and he gives her
the world of dreams.
Yeah, access to the world of dreams, or I don't remember the big details.
It is the world of dreams. Yeah. Okay, Une gets the world of dreams. Doga gets time.
Yeah, and then he turns to you, and he basically just goes, "Yeah, fuck you. You're able to die now." I think I'd be a little bitter at the world too.
Same. It's like, thank you, you cunt.
Yeah.
like you're just like looking to Noah looks at him and is just like, you know what? I don't have anything else to give you. Go ahead and die, cunt.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. God.
But, jeez.
Yeah.
So, he's just kind of a non-presence. They don't even do much with him in, Dissidia Opera Omnia.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah, he literally is just, he doesn't really matter in FF3 context. Which, maybe that's the point, but I don't know.
It's kind of a fucked up thing, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I do want to give him points, though, for his fucking awesome design, though. I think Zan's design is, probably one of my favorites in the entire series. Dude,
yeah.
Especially in, isn't he, a additional boss in, FF14? And he gets, the whole, updated model and everything?
Yes, he does.
And he looks so fucking
cool. For the
cool.
Crystal Tower raids, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the first set of raids you ever get in FF14 is the Crystal Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a giant Final Fantasy III reference.
Yeah, the final dungeon of FF3.
Yeah, and in the final raids, the second final raid, you fight Xanda.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, then the final raid, you fight Cloud of Darkness.
Okay. So I guess speaking of Cloud of Darkness,
D.
Yeah, very bog standard Calamity type antagonist that just shows up to be the final boss.
Yeah, it just doesn't even really exist.
Yeah, it's not even a character. It's just kind of a thing.
And you can also kind of say that about Zemus, if we're being fair, too.
Yeah, Zemus is an antagonist that just kind of came and went.
Yeah.
He's yeah.
Yeah, those two. So we have two of the bottom ranks right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't really add anything or detract anything.
Yeah.
They're just there as major presences to fight because you need an epic final boss fight.
Yeah.
But next we're getting...
I will say something about Cloud of Darkness. I actually do really, really, really like the final boss theme for FF3.
Oh, the final boss theme for FF3 is great.
Yeah. But anyways, the true star of the show here for FF4. Pretty easy yes tier if you ask me.
Yes, I agree, because he plays his... he's an S tier, villain and an S tier party member. S tier character in both games he's in.
Yeah. Because super intimidating, super imposing, super threatening. He's literally just one giant Darth Vader knockoff. Let's not kid ourselves, but he does the Darth Vader knockoff thing so well. And then towards the end of the game, where he finally breaks free of Zemus's little mind control, he becomes mortified at what the fuck he's done. So he helps take out Zemus alongside the rest of the party. And then in the after years, he's now running around trying to stop the Maenad invasion, and you get a lot more insight as to who he is actually him. And he's, I don't know, I love Golbez so much.
Golbez is just, again, he's great. He's a great antagonist that taunts Cecil, that plays to the Darth Vader-ness pretty well. And then when you learn the Darth Vader-esque twist of him being Cecil's brother, and the redemption arc that he goes through even at the very end of FF4, it's just absolutely great. And there's a reason he's still so beloved to this day by the entire fandom, because it's even excluding the after years, he's such a good character.
Yeah.
And it's just hard. FF4, I have a lot of problems with it. Golbez is not one of them.
Yeah. FF4 is the first Final Fantasy that's really kind of focuses on a really in-depth story. And like Golbez, I think is a really good antagonist for like that sort of first attempt.
Yes, exactly.
I guess now we move on to the creator.
The creator, who I'd say is another S tier.
Oh, really? So
we talked about this before.
Yeah, we did, but I don't remember the conversation. Like, yeah, you take. I think I also let you take over this one than the original.
Yeah,
recording.
the thing is that
for those that don't know, we actually tried to record this like about like a month ago, and I forgot to record my own audio like a dumbass. So
yeah, the thing with the Maker is there's such an interesting meta concept done so well for the after years. Because it's just like you know that there's someone controlling everything.
Yeah.
For the game to happen with all these events over and over again. And you have this space entity that is judging humanity. And one of the great things about the Maker is just the the implication is that the Maker came from our Earth.
Yeah.
And just the commentary on humanity themselves, like, it's not a ham-fisted commentary.
No.
That they could have done so easily. And then their boss fight, their actual honest-to-God boss fight.
Yeah, is like...
Where you...
yeah. Go ahead.
Their boss fight where it's like one of the hardest boss fights in the fucking series. And they just are... And you don't even actually beat them. Which is one of the unique things.
Yeah, you just kind of like drive them out.
You drive them out and they destroy themselves.
Yeah.
And the main id coming to help you. But it's like... they're just a perfect culmination for like the themes of FF4.
Yeah, it really is.
And that's all I can really say about them because like the After Years was just such a fun game that not many people talk about for a sad reason.
Yeah, people just kind of they just kind of like they're just kind of like, oh, it's just like the same, like a literal retelling of a 4, even though without stopping to think like, hey, maybe they're doing something interesting with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I guess was there anything else?
No, that's really all I can say.
Okay. So then we move on to Xdeath. From FF5.
Honestly, I'd say like I want to hear your opinion, but I'd say B tier.
I was gonna say something like below Garland.
Yeah, below Garland especially because like
Xdeath is a really fun, just kind of like asshole villain. Like he's the perfect kind of ham villain for like the much like Final Fantasy V's more like lighthearted nature.
Yeah, for the most lighthearted game in the series, even though he's like he's just like kind of generic mega evil. He's a fun generic mega evil. Like he's so ridiculous. He's kind of goofy. He's like the Shredder to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or the Bowser to Mario.
Yeah.
Just someone that you don't really take too seriously. Like, yes, they're a world-ending threat.
Yeah. Yeah, quite possibly one of the most powerful entities in the series.
But at the same time...
Then again, I don't really know how much that's saying, given the people we have here.
I mean, the fact that Xdeath can literally go into the multiverse with the Void, because the Void has been confirmed by Final Fantasy staff to be a connecting thing to all universes. Like, every universe can connect to the Void if they know how to. So, like, if Xdeath wasn't defeated there, we could have possibly seen him in, like, other Final Fantasy games.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like, could have popped up somehow in 6. Could have popped up in 8, 9. Even 10 or the like, you know?
Maybe we should have had him in 10, then that way the story might have actually been somewhat interesting. Anyways, I will say, I think I said this on like the past recording too, so I'm gonna say it again here. In Japanese, his name was Exodus, which I think was a much cooler name for him.
Yeah, English translations are weird. Like, I would have Exodus. Like, Xdeath just sounds goofy, which I guess kind of the point in the translation.
Yeah, like, it fits for FF5, but like fucking, I like the name Exodus.
Honestly, I would have stuck in with Exodus too.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's really not much to say again for him because he's just goofy, fun, You know, has a fucking fight with a turtle, like a fucking
yeah.
and turns himself into a tree branch to have that fight.
Yep.
Which is just hilarious to me.
Yeah, he literally just a sentient fucking tree, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
Same. And God, FF5 is not underrated, but underplayed.
Yeah, like I think most people gonna know how good it is, but just not a lot of people really played it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say it's another game much like the After Years that people should give a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, like X Death is fun, and that's all he really needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say, honestly. Just like that's kind of like the curse of the older Final Fantasy games when they're not like as like story heavy as they are nowadays. It's just not really a whole lot to say on them.
I mean, we talked a fair bit about Golbez already, but that's because Golbez had 2 fucking games.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I guess moving on to the first the one of the most iconic characters in the entire series. Pretty easy here.
Above. Yeah. I'd say above, like, the Maker, maybe above Golbez, but what do you think?
I'll keep him below Golbez for now, but we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, Kefka. Kefka's like the perfect embodiment of a villain.
Yeah. Something I really, really love about Kefka is, like, so, like ever so often you'll have, like, those games that, like, they become instant classics and they just, like, they'll be, like, forever remembered in time as, like, one of the most, like, important and influential games in the of like its genre, and like Final Fantasy VI is one of those alongside like Final Fantasy VII, and usually when you go back and play those games today, it's like you just kind of like, yeah, they're good, but like I don't think they're really like that amazing, but that's just because like a lot of a lot of what this get like the stuff you kind of take for granted nowadays, this was the game that kind of started it. Final Fantasy VI for me is not that case. Like, Final Fantasy VI for me is just as good now as it probably was back then, and that goes for Kefka too. Like, that's probably the most impressive thing about Kefka for me, the fact that he's withstood the test of time.
He really has. Like, to this day, you could show like a young kid getting into JRPGs the first time, Kefka. Like,
yeah,
and Kefka would still stick with them.
Yeah,
because Kefka's the type of Kefka isn't even a high-ranking general.
No.
Or no, he's a high-ranking general.
Yeah, he's kind of sort of high-ranking, but
but he's a general. He's not even like a main threat. He's just a assistant to the person perceived to be the main threat.
Yeah, which is this guy, which we'll get to in just a moment.
But the thing is that from his get-go, when you meet him in Figaro Castle, where he complains about having sand in his boots,
yeah,
you think he's about to be just a comic relief,
yeah,
X-Death is.
Yeah, you think he's just gonna be like some random like minor antagonist that he's just gonna like defeat, just like toss aside and be done with it. But no, this guy fucking grows.
And as you see, the more horrid shit he's willing to do, even behind the Empire's back against Empire rules, like getting Leo, like he pisses off like General Leo.
Yeah. By
poisoning Doma Castle, which was not approved.
Yeah.
He just did that because he felt like it.
Yep.
Because that was both strategic and he thought it'd be fun to do. He's like the Joker. I know it's a common comparison, but he's like the Joker.
Yeah, he literally is just like the fucking Joker for like the Final Fantasy's Joker.
Yeah, he's like the Joker for Final Fantasy's Joker. And that's, reading comics, that's just so, they literally have ripped off Kefka in the comics now for Joker, but that's a whole nother tangent.
Yeah.
but from that, and then all the way to the floating continent, where you truly see him become the main villain.
Yep.
Where it's he kills Gestal. And then Celeste stabs him and he just goes fucking mad. Well, no, Celeste stabs him and he just goes fucking mad, pushing the Warring Triad statues that keep the balance of the world.
Yeah, pushing them out of balance and then subsequently fucking over the world.
And killing Gestal and just being like, you know what? I'm the god of the world now.
Yep.
And he literally is. And he's like the most bored god you could think of, bored, destructive god.
Yeah, like he just fucking He just like fucking snipes people from the top of the mountain like fucking like a kid just like frying ants in a with a magnifying glass.
Yes, exactly. Imagine a god bored with humanity that lived with inhumanity and just thought it fun to kill at will.
Yeah.
And that's Kefka. And that's all and that's what he needed to be. But to this day, his brand of insanity, his fucked up antics, his way of thinking.
Yeah.
And his final boss battle against everyone.
Yes.
Where he asks, well, have you found your joy?
Yeah.
Just one of the most... And also, can I just say he might have one of, if not, like, one of the best top 5 final boss themes in any RPG.
Yeah, like, it's kind of... it's kind of like... what's the word? It's kind of like, generic, I guess, to kind of say it, but, like, Dancing Mad is, like, so good. And, like, I like something else like about the final boss is like the fact that like he doesn't really have like a final speech when he's dying, and I think I just kind of look at it as like basically like Kefka's caused like so much like just like destruction and like all that over like his course of just like being the new god of magic, and like he doesn't have any sort of final speech because like he's basically he's become fallen victim to the own like his own destruction that he's caused, and like he accepts that, which I think is really cool.
But yeah, and again, Dancing Mad, I know we just talked about how it's just good, but it also fits the final boss fight with him too.
Yeah.
Like, it progresses with the boss fight.
Yeah.
And that's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's...
Yeah, like the first phase basically just like shows is basically to signify like just how fucking like strong he is and how little he sees of you basically. And then like the second phase, like this is all stuff like most people probably already know, but I just figured like for the sake of being thorough here. The second phase just shows like how fucking batshit insane he is. The third is like basically like he doesn't. Basically, the third one is basically like has a very like divine kind of feel, but like it's Kefka, so like it's more so like him just kind of like taunting you with like images of like mockeries of like different various like divine like pieces of art and all that, and then he gets to the fourth phase and basically like it kind of like devolves into this like chaotic like mess of just like sounds, and basically this is Kefka basically just going, oh shit, I'm actually losing here.
Yeah.
and I think it's so cool.
It is like I can't remember the last time a final boss theme mixed in with like multiple phases of the fight so well like that.
Yeah.
And again, it just adds to... There's, like, if I was to run a class on how to write a villain or anything, Kefka would be among, like, one of the examples I'd use. Like, he'd have his own fucking, like, video or course about it.
Yeah, there's, like, at least, like, if I were, like, in that situation, there's, like, at least 3 villains here I would, like, do that for.
Yeah, same. But I think we've covered Kefka pretty fucking well.
Yeah, so yeah, Kefka really fucking good. Gestalt on the flip side, like, he's fine, he does his job. I've got little else to say.
Yeah, there's not much to say. He's just a presence, which fits, but he's just kind of the old man that's sending out people. He's kind of like... There's a character in 15 that we didn't include because he's barely a presence.
Yeah.
Because he's even less of a presence than Gestalt.
Yeah.
Because at least you actually interact with Gestalt, unlike, say, Iodolus.
Yeah, like, the fucking Iodolus has more presence in fucking Kingsglaive than he does in the actual game.
Yes. God. But we'll get to him. We'll get to 15 people when we get to 15.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's really all you can say about Gestalt. Like, he's just your typical emperor. Like, he's not even like, he's not even like your fun to hate character like Mateus.
Yeah.
He's just there.
Yeah, he's just like fucking like emperor who's just like way too ambitious for his own good, and that's literally it.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, do we keep him below Zand? Do you say?
Below Zand,
okay,
yes.
That's fair.
I almost wanted to put him in D tier, but he's not that bad.
Yeah,
he's actually a presence.
Yeah, he's actually like, yeah. I can actually remember Gestalt, unlike these two.
Yes.
So, I guess that's it for FF6 then, huh? So, time to move on to, another one of the most iconic characters in this series. So, I want to take this, I want to take the reins here, because I think that's what I did last time. So, Sephiroth is, basically, like, my issue with Sephiroth in, like, actual FF7 is that, like, he's just, like, I feel like his whole, like, backstory and all that we basically get, like, a bunch of flashbacks for, is really, it feels kind of like speedrun, I guess, because it's like we're showing all of like the important information, but nothing really has much feeling to it. I don't feel like, and then from that point on, where he just like he does his job. He's as an antagonist, he's good. I've got nothing else to say. With that, and then like his other appearances, like you've got like Advent Children, the whole Remnants of Sephiroth thing, and then you got Before Crisis, where he just kind of shows up as just like a small cameo. And like basically, if that's like all it really was, then for me, Sephiroth would honestly be like C tier, like maybe above Zand. But then we get to Crisis Core, and Crisis Core alone just kind of bumps up Sephiroth from C tier all the way up to like A tier for me.
Because, and that's fair because
because like Crisis Core like gives us a lot more insight. Like okay, so basically Crisis Core gives us control of Zack, and like Zack is cool because like during the whole Nibelheim is it Nibelheim?
Yeah, Nibelheim, yeah.
Okay. During like the whole Nibelheim incident, like Zack was actually there to see it all unfold, and so those scenes from like the little like flashback sequence in FF7, they actually have like a lot more like they have a lot more meaning to them. They have a lot more like feeling in them, and you can actually see like you can feel Sephiroth kind of just like having it like going through his fucking identity crisis before just eventually just snapping. And then like Genesis, we'll get to him in just a moment, but like Genesis is the one who's kind of breaks the full truth to Sephiroth, and like Genesis, like he's like Genesis the worst person to do that for, and Genesis fucking knows it too. So like, we'll get them in just a moment.
Yeah, and another thing that helps out all with Crisis Core is that because with Cloud, Cloud purposefully is an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Which is a nice touch for 7, I will admit. But it doesn't really help Sephiroth, unlike Zack, who is the fully reliable narrator, because he was the one that was legit 100% fucking there.
Yeah. Like Cloud was kind of there too, but he just kind of like showed up after the fact, after everything kind of played out.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Zack actually did see everything happen, so.
And then there's FF7 Remake.
Yeah, where like that whole
7 Remake.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
And that whole thing, I actually kind of love his whole deal in Remake. But that's because I love when the 7 universe actually gets into its fantasy aspects.
Yeah.
Because 7 Remake's fantasy aspects are so cool. Like, they really are.
Yeah.
For what they are. Like, the goddess Minerva that we get introduced to in fucking Crisis Core.
Yeah.
And all that. That's all pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Sephiroth, like, yeah, he's not an S tier. He's below Mateus. I'd agree there.
Yeah.
But, like, he's not the best, but he's still a good enough villain.
Yeah.
And he's also just, in the expanded universe, just petty enough.
Yeah.
You know, he's just never ending. Like, he's like, as long as Cloud exists, I can return to torture his ass.
Yeah.
I can even go to Super Smash Bros. To torture his ass.
Yep.
There's no escape, Cloud.
Yeah, I'm curious. I wonder what like tier both Cloud and Sephiroth are in Smash Bros. Because if they're like on the same tier next to each other, that would be funny.
I'll have to look that up. I'm gonna look up a Super Smash Bros. Tier list while.
Well, I mean, we don't have to right now. But we can do that later.
Yeah, no, I've got it. I mean, I've got it up already, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, official. I'm gonna look that up just because I'm curious. I'm looking for Cloud. Yeah, they're both on A+ right now.
Oh, nice.
So
that's cool. Yeah.
Had to look that up because I was like, you know what? I'm fucking curious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. We also put them on A tier here in our previous.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my! He still can't escape.
We did not do that on purpose. I promise.
We did not, but.
Yeah. So I guess it's better for Sephiroth then.
Yeah, that is. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's just
I'm just losing my shit over that.
So now time to move on to one of Rick's favorite villains in the series.
Hojo. Fucking love this guy. He used to be my favorite villain until someone else came along.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, 2 other people thinking about it. Mm-hmm. He's now my 3rd favorite. But he is just... One of my favorite villain types is the one that's planning everything behind the fucking scenes.
Yeah, like the mastermind.
The real mastermind that doesn't have too much of a presence on purpose.
Yeah.
And that's Hojo for us.
Yeah.
Hojo is the guy that's like, okay, I'm going to introduce myself as just a kooky scientist that's trying to make a white woman fuck a dog.
Yep. Yeah, that is literally his fucking introduction, and like that's just kind of like that's just like there is no better introduction for Hojo.
And then when you meet him again in Casa del Sol, he's getting waited on by 2 beach babes.
Yeah.
in wearing a lab coat while wearing his swimsuit.
Yes.
Which is just fucking great. And you're just like, okay, this guy's just kooky.
Yeah.
This guy's kooky and kind of funny. And then as you go through the game and you see him around a whole bunch more stuff, like you go to Aerith's birth village and everything after she dies.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that Aerith like Aerith was kidnapped by Hojo and everything as a kid. You see just how much of a presence he truly has. And when you learn that he purposefully created Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm.
And now is helping Sephiroth achieve his ambitions because he wants to see where it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude literally just like wants to like pursue his own his like scientific like interests and like fuck the consequences.
And he secretly plans everything from behind the scenes, even going as far as like even years before Sephiroth was born and shooting Vincent just point fucking blank.
Yep.
That's just such a cool concept, you know? Yeah. Like, and the fact is that like he's just such a cool mastermind that like he plans everything. I put him right next to Kefka, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah, like that. Because he deserves it. He fucking deserves it.
Yeah, like,
when someone thinks out stuff that well, you kind of learn to appreciate that shit.
Yeah, like literally every single thing that happens over the course of like the FF7 saga can be traced back to Hojo in some way. Even like fucking before the whole like Sephiroth bullshittery that like starts in Crisis Core, like even before Crisis. I'll get to Fajito in just a moment, but like one of the kind of like the big story moments like before Crisis is like Avalanche's attack on the Sinner building, and literally the only reason that happens is because Fajito wants to meet Hojo and just kind of show off to him. That's literally it. But like that still ties Hojo into that, and I love it.
Right.
But yeah, Hojo good.
Hojo really good.
So anything else we should say on him?
Not really.
Okay. So meanwhile, we have President Shinra, who I kind of see as like the true like main antagonist of like FF7 remake, or at least the first part of it. Just because like that's just the whole like
He really is like.
Just,
so we're counting his remake version for this. Okay.
Yeah. And just another case like he's there, he exists, he does.
I actually would put him in B tier if I'm being fair. We're using remake.
Really?
Because he has a lot more of a presence. He's much more antagonistic, much like Garland and X-Death.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually see a lot more of him and his planning and his discussion with Shinra about what to do. How he pushes Avalanche to do his bidding.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Alright, then I'll put him in B tier then.
Yeah, because it's like, you know who we forgot to put on here?
Who do we forget?
Rufus.
I actually was going to put Rufus on here, but like I decided against it because I figured like he's not really enough of an antagonist in like all of his appearances for me to really for him to qualify.
I'd say
because like he's more just kind of there for like a lot of FF7 saga.
I can see that. Okay, I'll concede that.
Yeah, but I feel like he's more of an ally and like he's more important appearances than he is an antagonist.
Yeah, but like President Shinra in 7 Remake, he's such a good antagonist that pushes the fucking party.
Yeah.
Especially like especially in 7 Remake, because I love the change in 7 Remake here where he appears as a hologram to Barrett.
Yeah.
In the crew instead of an actual in-person that could easily get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also really like I also like in like FF7 remake where it's like the beginning section of like the bombing the Sector 7 whatever the hell, and in FF7 like in actual FF7 they try to make it like a moral gray situation where it's like did Jesse actually just screw up with like the thing and actually destroy the place, but like then they proceed to go on this fucking like crusade against like how god-awful Shinra is in every conceivable way. FF7 remake doesn't even try, and they just like make it like, yeah, that was Shinra who like orchestrated that whole thing.
I'm mixed on that personally, but
I like it because I like it because they know what they want they know what they want Shinra to be, so they don't even try to do anything else with it. So I respect it. So
yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. And I don't really have much else to say about President Shinra. And this next character I barely know because I've only read up on him.
Yeah. So this is Fujito from Before Crisis. This is a game. This is canonically the first actual game in the FF7 saga, a couple years before Crisis Core even. And this Before Crisis follows the Tarks fighting against Avalanche. And Fujito is sort of the leader of Avalanche in Before Crisis. And basically what it boils down to for me is that if we did not have Crisis Core to round out Sephiroth, then Fujito would have been what I kind of wanted Sephiroth to be in that instance. He's basically he's very simple, just straight up fucking ego terrorist, and he wants all humanity to return to the Earth to heal the wounds that suffered over the years, and
yeah,
basically he hunts down there's Zirconiate materia to summon Zirconiate to do that, and basically just really cool guy who just he if we're going into the fucking environmental whatever the fuck that people like to say is the main thing of Episode 7, I think he does a good job of being that kind of antagonist.
Yeah.
Question is, where the hell do we put him?
Honestly, I'd put him, because you've sold me pretty well, I'd put him high B next to say Garland.
Okay, so here roughly.
Yeah.
Alright then.
And now we get to one of the pettiest but most fun.
Yes.
I'd honestly already, I'd put him at the bottom of S tier myself.
Oh, really?
He's either high A or low S, because I
was going to put him next to Sephiroth.
Let's put him next to Sephiroth, yeah, fuck it, because he's such a good character.
Yeah, fucking, he spends his entire fucking, life, pretty much, trying to outdo Sephiroth in every way, and then when he finds out that he's what the fuck, it's not a clone, I don't think, right? What the hell is what is he? I don't remember.
He's kind of a, Genova project.
Yeah.
He's the failed Genova project, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the failed Genova project.
He's kind of...
Go ahead.
He's kind of like Kuja. He's a lot like Kuja, the more I realize it.
Yeah.
He's a lot like Kuja, where he is just... he's always quoting his favorite play, Loveless.
Yeah.
And he's just got the pettiness with the other villain, Sephiroth. It's two villains going against each other.
Yeah, and dude spends his entire life, like I said, trying to outdo Sephiroth, but then when he realizes that he's a failed project and he's slowly deteriorating, he just goes off the fucking rails and just decides okay, you know what, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to devote the rest of my life to making Sephiroth and his allies the life of them both just fucking hell. And so they get to Nibelheim and Genesis just fucking tells Sephiroth straight up, hey, yeah, by the way, and he fucking revels in it, and because he knows he's the worst person to tell Sephiroth that, and it's just such a good moment.
It is
people might say that's a retcon to the original scene, but it might I feel since Cloud was I feel since we didn't really know Zack's whole thing in actual FF7, we can't really say if it's a retcon or not because we just don't know if he was there or not.
And honestly, as we've said, retcons are good sometimes.
Yeah.
Not every retcon's good, but sometimes you can have a good retcon.
Mm-hmm.
And Genesis is a good one, and I hope that if the rumors are right, he appears in the 7 remake continuity.
Yeah, I hope that happens.
Because apparently Square's working with Gact again, who is the face model for him.
Yeah, that's why Genesis has not really appeared in anything else, by the way, because
because Genesis was supposed to be a big role in the 7 remake, or 7 the expanded continuity of 7.
Yeah.
But because the singer Gact and Square had a falling out,
mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to really use his likeness legally.
Yeah.
So they were kind of scrambling with that for the longest time.
Yeah. But now I guess
But now that we've got Crisis Core Reunion on the way,
we do.
God, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I forgot.
More people will learn to love Genesis, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. So I guess
that's really all.
Yeah. So now we move on to this guy.
D.
Yeah.
D. Even intergrade didn't help him that much. Oh, you accidentally muted yourself.
Yeah, I was trying to clear my throat. Sorry about that. But yeah, Weiss is just like he's not a character.
He is not. Even they're trying to make him a thing in the 7 remake continuity.
Yeah.
With intergrade, which I'm interested in seeing what they do because 7 remake did a lot of good stuff. Like, I still count 7 remake as an S tier game if I'm being fair.
Yeah, I would agree. Like just gameplay off of gameplay alone, I would agree. Yeah.
Off of gameplay alone and the story changes. Like,
yeah,
I will fight the people that are like, oh, but it's not. It changed a lot from the original 7. The original
good.
7 was, yeah, good. But like, yeah, he is just not one of those people. Weiss is just not one of those people.
Yeah, like
Weiss
is just like he's the leader of like the Sviets. No, not the Sviets. What the hell's that? Deep Ground? I'd say
Deep Ground. Yes.
There's like so many fucking like random like factions and Dirge of Cerberus. I just like fucking dear lord. And
yeah, the Sviets and the Deep Ground. Dirge of Cerberus is a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Like, it's the part of the continuity I think that they should have forgotten, but
yeah, to be frank. But yeah, he's literally fucking dead for most of that just Dirge of Cerberus. And then when he comes back, like it's Hojo kind of like in him. Because like apparently Hojo is not cartoonishly evil enough. We needed to make him even more cartoonishly evil.
Okay, that's the one time I didn't like Hojo.
Yeah.
Because the story is told to make Vincent as quote unquote likable as possible, like to sympathize with Vincent. And all it makes it do is make Vincent look like a fucking simp for an e-girl.
Yeah, pretty much.
That, like, with a middle school shooter energy.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say that, but fuck me, does Dirge of Cerberus not sit well with me.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, Weiss is just, yeah, I'm not a fan of Weiss.
I mean, I will give him the credit that his battle theme, like, the song Redemption playing during that fight is okay.
Yeah.
It was a really good song, but just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
But that's really all I can say about Weiss.
I also will say I think Deep Crown's, like, actual goal in Dirge of Cerberus is actually kind of genius, because, like, they're trying to, like, activate Omega Weapon, or I think that's what it's called. But basically, it's a weapon in FF7's lore that's basically just sort of like a last resort. Like if the the planet is suddenly like super in danger, then like as a last resort, like Omega Weapon awakens, kind of sucks the energy out of the world and like travels to like somewhere else to try and start again. And basically, like what like Deep Ground's trying to do is that they're trying to kill enough people to where it's like they kind of like prematurely awaken Omega Weapon by like basically Omega Weapon will say like, oh shit, people are kind of dying. This the world must be in trouble here, and like they just kind of prematurely trying to cause like the end of the world. I think that actually is kind of genius.
Yeah, God, the weapons are such a cool concept, but they are not characters, so we don't count them here.
Yeah, we don't. Well, they're also not really like antagonists per se. Wouldn't count them.
Yeah, they're just like living monsters that are there.
Yeah, which I mean, like, you might call us foul on that, but I mean, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that in just a bit, but
for now,
that's because Sin has more of a presence.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's not really much else to say on Weiss is there.
No, so let's move on to one of the okayest villains.
Yeah, like this is going to be I think this is going to be like a pretty like I remember like when we first recorded this is what like a pretty big divide between like you and I, because I don't like Ultimecia much.
I've kind of like I still like Ultimecia, but she's not as good as I remember her. Yeah, after replaying.
Yeah, like basically the whole thing with Ultimecia is that like so like there was a thing that like for the longest time was like just kind of like a fan theory where it's like Ultimecia was sort of like a
Renoa.
Yeah, Renoa from like the future when like because it's established that GFs the summons in the game kind of like really mess with your ability to remember stuff, and so like the theory goes like in the future, basically, like, Squall and, like, the rest of the people, except Renoa, kind of, like, died in the battle against the sorceresses. And so Renoa started, like, unlocking the true power of the summon of GFs, and she basically, like, gets to the point where it's, like, she's using GFs so much that she doesn't even remember who, like, Squall is. And, like, basically, like, she, like, travels to the past to, like, become the, like, create a time compress and, like, become, like, one with the universe or something. I don't remember.
And the biggest supporting things of this theory, by the way, was the second stage with Griever.
I guess.
Like, the second stage with Griever.
Hang on. I basically, like, if for the longest time this was just more of a theory until it was it Opera Omnia? Or was it?
No, Mobius Final Fantasy.
Mobius Final Fantasy. Basically, they have like a thing where it's like you cannot put you cannot put the same character twice on like the team.
No, that is Opera Omnia.
Okay, yeah, and it's Opera Omnia, but like that's a thing, and that includes like basically like all like alts of like characters, and if you try to put Renoa and Ultimisi on the same team, you'll get that message like you can't put two of the same character on the.
They actually did get rid of that.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, but that used to be a thing for like a little while.
Okay, and like that basically kind of self-confirmed the theory, and like here's the thing, I don't have any issues with that whole like thing that like Renoa is or when Ultimisi is Renoa from the future, but I really don't think it's supported very well in FF8 at all, because like the second phase with Griever you were talking about, that's just like that's not really any like. So at the end of FF7, like the whole like cinematic battle with like Cloud versus Sephiroth at the very end is like more of like an interactive cutscene and everything else, and that's supposed to be like symbolic for like Cloud kind of like destroying this impossible standard that Sephiroth set for him that trying to live up to just did more harm to his life than good.
Yeah,
that's basically what the whole thing with Griever was, and like in FF8, like that's basically like symbolic of like Cloud finally conquering his own like self-doubt and insecurities over like because like that's kind of a big thing about his character, right? And
right.
So like basically like him destroying what to him is the most like noble, most like bravest thing in the world. It's supposed to show him. It's supposed to be like him.
It's supposed to be Squall like.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Squall like finally like like I said like conquer his own self, whatever. Yeah. And like I feel like if they really like I just really don't think it's like that well like executed or foreshadowed in the game, because like a lot of people also say that like Ultimisi really kind of like almost kind of guns for Squall as if like they had like some sort of past connection to like use that as evidence for the theory again. But like fucking like Reno was one of like 3 of the last Jesus Christ, my fucking throat. It's like Reno was like one of the 3 last fucking Source candidates in the world, and Squall's the guy actually trying to protect Renoa from her. I feel like that's just kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention this when we were recording this originally, but like fucking like if you really want to do this, you have the perfect fucking protagonist for this, because Squall is someone who like spends most of his time in his fucking head like overthinking everything. Would it not have been that hard? Would it really have been that hard to have him like for example like during the whole Eyes on Me thing? Like would it really been that hard to have him like have some sort of inner monologue where it's like he doesn't need to spell it out, don't get me wrong, but it's like you could just have him like thinking to himself and being like having sort of drawing some sort of conclusion to himself. I feel like that would have been so easy if you wanted this to be the thing.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and also Ultimecia is just she's a bit too generic for her own good. Like she's not a D tier, but I'd say she's like C tier.
Yeah, I would put her like right here to be honest.
Yeah, same. And that's really all there is really to say about her, is that she's just there. She's like the twist villain at the end.
Yeah.
And she says everything with the letter C with the letter K, like a Mortal Kombat character.
Yep.
But now let's get to the actual who I consider the actual good villain of the game. Like,
yeah.
Because FF8 is a very personal story.
Yeah.
And I stand by this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cypher should have been the final boss.
Yeah, I can see it, because you
know that like time compression sequence?
Real fast. Here, what do you say?
Yeah, I'd say that. That's what I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
But like, you know that time compression sequence at the very end game?
Yeah.
Go back to the fight where Squall and Cypher have that fight where Squall gets his scar.
Yeah.
In that time compression. Have that be the literal final fight that you play out. Only this time, he knocks down Cypher. He evades that cheap trick. Make it a cinematic fight like the Sephiroth fight at the end of 7.
Yeah. And like yeah, like Cypher is basically just sort of like I guess not really nemesis per se, but he's the rival to Squall. And like it's kind of cool because like they are rivals and like they do like kind of butt heads, but like you can like it's clear that like both Squall and Cypher kind of have like a mutual respect for their like abilities and all that. And
yeah.
And Cypher just kind of like shows up like ever so often throughout FFA, just like a fight, as a boss. And I'm kind of sad that like I feel like that would have worked in like any other game that's not FFA, where you can just like power creep yourself to like fucking impossible levels and just kill Sephiroth in like 1 or 2 hits every single time you fight him.
Cypher, you mean?
Or Cypher? Did I say Sephiroth?
Yeah, you said Sephiroth,
Yeah,
but
Cypher.
Yeah, Cypher, like his final fight is sadly a joke.
Yeah, but like all of his fights are a joke. Let's not kid ourselves.
All of his fights are a joke, but like especially if you get Odin.
Mm-hmm.
But like yeah, Cypher. But Cypher had so much good potential. Another good thing about him that adds to the personal character story of 8 is that he was Renoa's ex.
Yeah.
Like, so he has that bond with Renoa, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it just works so well. So it's just like, yeah, like, he's really good. He deserved more. I hope that if we get an FF8 remake ever, he gets more respect.
Yeah. Well, one of my like favorite kind of like small things about Cypher is like the whole like operation on like the place you go to at the beginning of the game. I don't remember what it's called, but basically like the one where Cypher's in charge of like Squall and Zell, and basically like due to his own like incompetence, they kind of like they the mission doesn't fail, but they still get punished because like of like Cypher, like just Cypher's like incompetence as a leader. And so, like, he doesn't pass the exam, but Squall and Zell do. And I think it's cool how, like, Squall and Zell come out of, like, the elevator, and, like, Cypher's there, like, amongst the crowd, and Cypher's, like, still the first one to clap for them both. Even though, he's, like, he wasn't able to pass. So, like, I don't know, I think it's cool how, like, he's the first one to clap in that scene.
Yeah, because it's, like, again, it shows that he can be respectful. He's a brash hothead.
Yeah.
And that's why he never makes it to the rank of Seed.
Yeah.
Because he keeps disobeying orders. He doesn't know how to follow orders, which, yes, he wants to be a commander, but to be a commander, first you've got to learn how to follow orders before you can give them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he won't, and like, the line, that Kista says to him about that he'll never be a Seed, hits him hard because he wants to be someone of big import like that, you know?
Yeah, like that's what causes him to like leave Seed and become Ultimacia or Idea's like top like bodyguard, I guess.
Yeah, and it's just he is again great character, underutilized.
Yeah, I want to see more of Cypher in a remake, like you said.
Yeah, like FF8 remake. Have Cypher make a final appearance in the final stage where you're fighting him, especially if you do action combat, because you know, funny enough, action combat makes it harder to cheese, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because like your hits aren't guaranteed to hit, like Squall's Gunblade, because Squall's Gunblade also has a default 255% hit no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And even when blind, Squall. Because blind reduces your hit by 50% in FF.
Yeah, which like when you're doing your default hits
by half, so
that doesn't make a difference.
So like when you have the hit of 255 to 127,
that's still above 100. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't do shit. But anyway, Cypher, great character, needed more screen time, needed to be the final boss.
Yeah, like just need to like okay. Yeah, like he just needed to be like in the story more in general. Yeah.
Yeah, like. Really should have been. Or could have been a super boss even. You know, for time compressed Sephiroth.
That actually would have been cool because super boss basically is just like one final showdown against the two rivals is see how far they both come. That would
like
cool.
You know how you have Omega Weapon in Ultimatia's castle that you can fight?
Yeah.
Instead of Omega Weapon, just make it a time compressed, fully on par, Cypher. That you can't cheese.
Yeah, that actually would have been pretty cool.
And he uses all of Squall's moves against him.
Yeah.
It's like he uses Renzo Kukin, uses fucking Fated Circle and all that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I think it also would be cool if that was like a you had to be like solo that was cool.
Maybe. Yeah, actually, yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah. Anyways, this doesn't really have anything to do with like the rankings. Basically, Cypher good.
Yeah, Cypher good. We spent forever. We just chatted our asses off about him because because we have our love. We both love FF8.
Yeah, I love FF8 to death.
We could do a Final Fantasy game tier list sometime.
Yeah, we could. I would have to find one that has like all the games that I want to talk about, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's about it for Cypher though, because like I can't really think of much else to say about him.
Yeah.
So now we'll move on to
one of my personal childhood favorites.
Yes, Kuja. So Rick, tell us about Kuja and tell us why you want to put him in S tier.
Kuja is just the ultimate petty villain. Like he is like, I said Genesis apes a lot from Kuja.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, because Kuja is part of a race called the Genomes.
Yep. Whose
whole purpose is to destroy planets to give life to Terra.
Mm-hmm.
But with Kuja, he's got a failsafe.
Mm-hmm.
That if he gets too powerful, he's destined to die.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is if he has to die, everything goes with him.
Yep.
But the thing is that he's just such a delightful villain in that, like, he treats the whole world like his theater stage while on his genocidal path.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone to him is an actor. Queen Braun, who he sets to die, is an actor. Everyone in Burmecia, an actor.
Yep.
To him, again, life is a stage. And it's just great to see him be such a presence that just doesn't give a shit about what he does.
Yeah.
And then there's his interactions with Zidane.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zidane is like the perfect genome.
Yeah.
According to Garland.
Yep.
Who we'll get to in just a bit.
Yeah.
And with that, Zidane was truly meant to be the one to destroy Terra.
Yeah.
Even though he got lost before he was developed enough. But Kuja knows this, Zidane does not. Like, Kuja knows that Zidane is another genome like him. They're technically brothers, much like good old Golbez and Cecil.
Yep.
And the thing is, I love at the very end of the game, where even though, like, Kuja's done all this horrible stuff, Zidane still sticks to his guns as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Of being able to redeem anyone and does his best to save him.
Yeah.
And Kuja is someone that, questionably, he doesn't deserve saving, but he also can be deserved to be saved.
Yeah, I think like my favorite thing about like Kuja is like whenever you actually do beat the game and like Zidane goes down to save Kuja from like the whole thing down there, and Kuja basically says like the reason why he did this is because he wanted to prove that like he was able to live his own life his way, which like
yes,
that's
exactly.
Basically the main theme of FF9 is basically like learning how to live the life that you want, which like that makes Kuja like the best villain for this kind of game.
It really does, because he's someone that supposedly was supposed to have only limited time.
Mm-hmm.
And they leave it ambiguous at the end whether he's alive or not.
Do they? Because I thought it was like pretty. Okay, I need to replay FF9. That's just because I become a parent.
At the end of FF9, we see someone in the steering the airship, I forgot Baku's group's name.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, they're on the tip of my tongue, but anyway, like, we see someone who's covered from head to toe in like a hat and everything,
mm-hmm.
driving that airship while they're doing the next playing of I Want to Be Your Canary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's implied to be Kuja.
Yeah.
But we never see it.
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, does Kuja live or does Kuja die? And that's a great way. I like them leaving it off like that, honest to God.
Yeah.
Because if they just said, oh, he lived, or oh, he died, I'd feel like the message wouldn't hit that hard.
Yeah.
And he's also, much like the Maker, he's the other, he's like one of two Final Fantasy final bosses you never actually beat.
Yeah.
Because in every fight, because in his final form, in Trance, he casts Ultima on you, and he's the only one to ever learn Ultima.
Yeah.
In FF9, because Ultima's not a spell in FF9.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just nice. And that's just a nice thing, because he's power. That power is just so great to see.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Kuja, though? Because I've been taking...
honestly, more of the same as yours, to be honest. I will say I didn't really develop, like, such a strong love for Kuja as quickly as you did. Like, it took until literally the last cutscene of the game for me to really appreciate Kuja. But even then, I still thought he was cool. Like...
And another thing... I'll also be fair here. FF9 was my first Final Fantasy when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah, so like there might be some bias there for you, but I mean
there's some extreme bias.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I agree is the thing. Like not like when like I remember I specifically said like, okay, you convinced me when we were doing the original take of this.
Yes.
And like yeah, I can agree nowadays.
But yeah, and then there's Garland. This version of Garland in FF9, which I don't know what to make of him. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's just kind of like just kind of there, really.
He's a machine.
Yeah.
First off, like he's a machine that's really just meant to be the archivist of Terra.
Yeah.
Like he's the one that watches Terra, Terra. Oh yeah. Also, another thing about Kuja, real quick. Oh. The fact that when enraged in trance with Ultima, he's able to destroy a whole fucking planet.
Yeah.
Just in his petty rage.
Yeah.
Makes him a threat on the tier of Kefka, almost.
Yeah.
If not more so. Actually, no. More than Kefka, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
because
Kefka
makes the surface of the world a ruin. He doesn't blow up an entire world.
Yeah, no.
He doesn't have that power. Kuja has that power.
Mm-hmm.
And when he goes into full, like, for lack of a better word, petulant child mode because of that. It's just so great.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Garland, I'd say low C, maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I think I'd put him, like, above Gestalt, if nothing else, because I think FF9 Garland's, like, concept is at least more interesting than Gestalt's.
Yeah.
And then, like, I also do remember, like, Gestalt a bit more than I do, like, or I do remember Garland more than I do Gestalt, so.
And also with Garland, he also pushes Zidane when he's in Terra.
Yeah.
To, he tries to reset Zidane, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
The You're Not Alone sequence is one of the best sequences in the game, and he initiates that.
Yeah. Man, someone was cooking something that smells amazing, but anyway.
Oh, God, I'm ordering chicken wings tonight, but that's off topic.
Yeah. So now we move on to FF10, which you'll know from the party members here, as neither Rick and I really care for all that much. But I will say,
and I still debate that we need to make a whole separate tier for one character.
And I'm still putting my foot down and not letting us do that. But anyways,
fuck you.
I actually do kind of I will say I actually do kind of like Sin in FF10.
Sin as an idea is amazing and actually kind of well executed in concept. Like, yeah, I give 10 a lot of shit, but I'd say Sin's a high B or a mid B.
I would put him like right here,
right maybe. There. Yeah, like he's kind of Sin is kind of as much of an evil force as say X-Death.
Yeah, and
like only without the goofiness of it.
Yeah,
just
like,
a giant.
He's just like a constant like calamity that's just like always there, and like they say that he can go away, but that's not really like what's actually going on when you actually find out what the hell's going on with like the fucking Yevon and like all that.
Yeah, and we have Sin here and not you, Yevon, because they're the same. Let's be fair here. They're the fucking same.
Yeah.
Like, Sin is just you, Yevon's body armor.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Sin as just like this monstrous concept that keeps regenerating over and over and over and over.
Yep.
In a never-ending loop that people just think they have to accept. That's such an interesting concept with the world of Spira.
Yeah.
And it's just like Sin If Sin was in a better written game, I'd say they could have been S tier.
Yeah, because Sin is just as a concept just really really cool.
Yeah, it's just the execution. The execution doesn't fall flat on like another character or other stuff in 10.
Yeah.
But God, it's just they're right in the middle.
Yeah, like Sin's I agree. If Sin was in a better game, I would really care. I think Sin could really easily be S tier, but just I just cannot bring myself to give a shit about FF10's world.
Thinking about you know what Sin could have easily been?
What could it have been?
A thing in FF13's world, like a destructive fal'Cie.
Yeah, now the image in it, I can see that. That actually would be really cool.
Kind of a fal'Cie that is rumored to be of legend in Pulse or something,
Yeah, what would have been cool if he was a secret boss in FF13.
Honestly, yeah, because he's kind of got that fal'Cie design already, but that's going way.
We're going back into cyber territory. I'm gonna stop us right here.
Yeah.
One more thing I actually do really like about Sin is that usually when you have calamity type thing like this, usually it's just kind of delegated to just lore stuff. Sometimes
or gotten at the very end of the game, the weapons in 7.
Or Cloud of Darkness in FF3, and sometimes they'll just show it to be final boss material. I like how Sin is a calamity that's an active presence throughout the entire story. Because you don't really see that too often.
We see Sin destroy Kilika Village in the first part of the game.
Yeah.
That introduction to Sin's true destructive nature in the world of 10 is just such a good introduction.
Yeah.
And also the fact that Sin, another good thing about Sin and the constant, calamity is that when Sin is basically the previous summoner's chosen guardian.
Yep.
You have to choose a guardian to keep reviving Sin with.
Yeah.
It's never ending.
Yeah.
And it's just yeah. It's kind of wild, and that's what Jecht becomes.
Which we'll get to in just a moment.
We'll get to him in just a moment. But the fact that it's just okay, you have to sacrifice your summoner to defeat Sin only for their closest friend to become Sin right after.
Yep.
It's such a fucked up concept I love.
The biggest fucking middle finger to the whole, any semblance of hope to get rid of this thing.
Yes.
So yeah, Sin's really cool. Someone who could have been pretty cool, on the other hand, if he were,
if he weren't such a fucking generic evil, okay, there's FF10's biggest issue is a lack of subtlety.
Yeah.
And this fucker is the biggest lack of subtlety I've ever seen.
Yep.
People are like, oh, FF10 is such a great, well-told story, and Seymour's such a What fucking game are you fuckers playing?
Seymour's a very compelling concept, if nothing else.
Where is your fucking shrooms, and can I have some of those so I can see what the fuck you're seeing? What the fuck are you... Yeah, okay, actually, no, shrooms aren't powerful enough. Where's your fucking ayahuasca, motherfuckers? Where's your fucking ayahuasca? Give me that, and I'll put on 10, hand it to me in the controller, and I might fucking see where you're coming from. But no, I live in the real world. I live in the world outside of hallucinogens. I live in the world where I have to actually see the fucking villains for what they fucking are.
And
yeah. Seymour is... You know how we made fun of, fucking Weiss back here?
Yeah.
I apologize to you, Weiss. You could have been so much worse. You could have been so much fucking worse.
Yeah,
you could have been Seymour fucking Guado.
Fucking...
And you know what the worst part about Seymour is?
What's up?
Swap him and Tentu's villains. Tentu's villain. And both of them could have been easily an S tier.
Yeah, because, okay, so, the whole thing with Seymour, right, is he's supposed to be some sort of, perversion on, the idea of, a Buddha character, where it's, like a Buddha's supposed to, save people through salvation and become, the end of the world or whatever else, whereas Seymour is more so, saving people through salvation by becoming Sin and, destroying the world to, put an end to it all. And like that's fine and all. That's not that. I actually do think that's a pretty cool concept, especially for like an antagonist in FF10's world. But like fucking, he's such a fucking schemer, and he's such an obvious schemer too. Like literally, his fucking introduction is him and Tidus doing the whole like stare down, like I don't like this guy kind of thing.
And also the music. Let's not forget the such compelling, subtle music.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I could have, like, you could have had him throw a baby off the port and be more subtle than that. You could have had him, like, someone at Lucas Stadium holding their baby. He holds it and then throws it against the ship. Would have been more fucking subtle than he already fucking was. Okay, I've got to calm down.
Yeah, like, I respect the dedication to the baby. You're going a little off the rails here.
I'm going off the rails, but that's because that's how much I fucking hate this guy.
Fucking like also like during that whole like towards the end of the game, like you know like the little like whole like the main cast gets like put on trial like the Evan higher ups and like Kel like they tell Kel Gronzo that like Seymour's nonsense and like Kel's like, wait, what the hell? Wait, what's this? And like Seymour just kind of goes like constantly just goes, what? Haven't you heard? And like I like it, but like that just with the kind of character he's trying to be, I just don't think it fits. I just don't think like he's trying to do two diametrically opposed things at the same time, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, he just really doesn't work. And they try to give him a sad backstory with his mother that just falls flat. Like it's flatter than the flat earthers believe Earth is.
Yeah.
And how flat it is. Like, god damn, I hate this guy so much.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. As I said, he could have belonged perfectly with the theme and message of 10-2, honestly.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. He could have been... If he was in 10-2 instead of 10... Again, like, being the type of character he is... Mm-hmm. He'd still be kind of unsubtle about it, but...
But, like, that would also kind of fit with FM2's, like, very, like, more, like... Not silly, per se, but, like, just, like... FF10-2 is a little significantly less serious than FF10, so, like, that would have fit, I think.
Yeah. And, like, he would have... And also, he definitely easily could have been the if he knew about Vegnagun and Vegnagun existed in 10...
Yeah.
He could have easily used Vegnagun if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
That'd fit his goals, too, but that's going into fanfic territory.
Yeah, that's... Yeah. Fucking, like, we can't escape it, it seems. So meanwhile, we have lastly for actual 10, we have Jacked.
A tier, I'd say.
Okay, interesting. Low A tier, perhaps.
Low A tier behind Cypher. Because the thing about Jacked is he's actually one of the most interesting characters in the game.
Yeah, like he's this like deadbeat dad who's like abusive to Tidus as a kid, and like that's how he comes off because that's how he appears in Tidus's flashbacks. One of the few instances of like actual like proper good build up in FF10, I think. Because like you just kind of like carry this image in your head like Jack just is like this absolute irredeemable asshole father. But then you go through Sphere, like Tidus kind of goes on the same general journey that Jack went on, and you start to realize that like Jack definitely was not a good father, but like he wasn't really like an asshole per se. He just did not like poor guy just did not know how to fucking raise a kid.
He did not. And then like then he goes from like the manufactured Xanarkin to the real world, not seeing a way to get back, and records all these spheres for Tidus.
Yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, Tidus, if you somehow end up here, like me, because it could happen, I just want you to know that I do love you.
Yeah.
I just never knew how the fuck to show it.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he becomes Sin of all people, of all things, that Tidus literally cannot escape his father, who he hates so much. And it's just magnificently well done.
Yeah.
Like, I can't give 10 a lot of credit for stuff, but the relationship between Tidus and Jack, as much as I hate Tidus, is so well done.
Yeah, like, I would have much rather, like, the story be primarily about, like, Tidus and Jack's whole thing, rather than, like, the Summoner journey. Gonna be honest.
Same, exactly. Like, have him still be Sin or something, but...
Yeah.
It's like, focus on that more than trying to balance them out, or...
Yeah.
You know, throwing it slightly to the wayside. Because... One of the things with FF10 is Tidus keeps saying it's his story, but it really isn't.
Yeah, no.
And it really should have been, because Jecht is such a compelling character, but because of how 10 is written, again, Jecht is another case of should have been S tier, but just slightly falls flat.
Yeah. One of my favorite like little random things about Jecht is that like he's like a huge drunkard like in the universe, but like when he actually gets to Spirit and he starts on like the Summoner Journey with Braska and all that, like he accidentally like in like a drunken stupor he accidentally attacks a shoe puff thinking it's a demon.
It's just a random monster. Yeah,
and like he decides like once he realizes what he did, he decides to like never like he decides to put down drinking and like from that point onward. I don't know why, but that's just funny.
It's not only funny, it's actually a compelling character trait of he improves himself as a person.
Yeah.
Only to become the ultimate monster of the world, Sin.
Yeah.
Which adds a bit of tragedy. It's why I want a FF10 prequel with Auron, Jecht, and Braska. We know how it would end, but the journey sounds so interesting.
I mean, we knew how fucking Zack's journey in Crisis and FF7 ended, but we still got that story.
And Zack is still one of the best party members ever.
Yeah.
We put him and Balthier on the top 2 after all, but that's going back to another 4-hour video you could watch later.
Yeah. At this pace, this is going to be another 4 hours, so let's say we move on to Shuyan.
Shuyan, S tier, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm going to put him...
like, bottom of S.
Yeah, yeah. Like, fucking, like... Yeah, Shuyan is, like... I really, really, really like Shuyan because, like, basically, like, he's exactly the kind of antagonist I wanted out of actual, like, original FF10. Because, basically, like... the whole thing, like him, like he was the lover of Len, who was like a summoner, like for a while back, who basically like during like the war between Bevel and the other place, Xanarkand, yeah. Basically like Len was expected to go on the front lines, like on the thing, because that's just like the duty of a summoner. But Shuyan didn't want to like. He knew that like if Lynn would go with her, she wouldn't be coming back alive. So basically, like as a last resort, they decided to like activate Vegnagun to like stop the war, and like understandably that kind of puts everyone to a panic, and then they like find Len and Shuyan and they shoot them both down. And Shuyan stays around as an unsent in the world, and basically like he's corrupted so much over time. It's like he decides to hijack Vegnagun again to try and like end like the constant warring in the world once and for all, and because he blames himself for Len's death, even though realistically there's not really a whole lot he could have done to like save her. He's still like he was right there, like he probably still feels like he should have been able to do something. And the way that you defeat Shuyan is by making him realize that like Len's death wasn't his fault. It wasn't really anyone's fault. It was just a shitty situation that led to people making some unfortunate accidents.
Yes, and it works.
Yeah.
It works so well, and the funny thing is that here's the thing: if he could have worked in 10 as well, because like in 10 he could have easily used Sin for his own goals there too.
Yeah,
like Sin could have easily been manipulative of Sin or something,
Yeah. Plus, I feel like I don't know, like I kind of like the idea of like Shuyan being like a dark Tidus sort of. Basically, like showing like basically sort of like a what if Tidus like this is how Tidus could have ended up if he didn't know how to like
save Yuna from
Yuna, yeah.
Like if Tidus and Shuyan are great reflections of each other, even though Tidus is gone in 10 too.
Mm-hmm.
And also Shuyan's obsessiveness with Yuna as Len.
Yeah.
Where he recreates like one of the most like iconic romantic moments between Tidus and Yuna.
Yeah.
But makes it in such a creepy tone.
Yeah.
That's just magnificent,
Yeah.
That's how you do magnificent. That's how you do good callbacks without being super. I mean, it's overt, but
like there's a point to it all.
Yes, exactly, and I love it.
Yeah, Shuyan good. We're probably going to get crucified for this, like for this and for this, but I don't care. I said
it's called okay, people that complain, it's called having actual taste. Learn how to get some tongue surgery and then come back to us, you fucks.
Yeah, I think that's a
And
better.
yes, I will antagonize your audience.
Yeah, I think I honestly I can see myself antagonizing my own audience. That's fine. But yeah, I think that's better for Shuyan.
Yeah.
So like I said at the beginning of the video, we don't have FF11 antagonists here because we haven't, neither of us have played FF11. I have done some wiki diving on FF11 though, and like if you want the opinions of someone who's done like some light wiki diving but not actually played the game, whatever that may be worth, then like I would have put like Shadow Lord in A tier, and then like everyone else in like B tier somewhere.
Yeah, I can see. Like, I barely know the villains because I've only played them through Opera Omnia.
Mm-hmm.
But like Ealdnark and I forget the other guy's name. Like the two blonde people.
Oh,
Let me pull them up real quick. Oh wait, that's Pocket Edition FF15, not Opera Omnia. There we go, Opera Omnia. But like, yeah, they are both like very interesting in Opera Omnia.
Yeah. Anyways, let's not get on this subject. Let's actually stay on track here.
Yeah, let's stay on track here.
So now
Vayne Solidor.
Yeah, Vayne is a Karadas Solidor.
Yes.
For Final Fantasy 12. You take the reins on this again, Riek.
Vayne is honestly a compelling political villain because, like, he is someone that knows how to appeal to the public.
Mm-hmm.
He is someone who, like, will get the public to like him, or even if they don't like him, he will get them to, like, he will appease them the best he can.
Yeah.
Even though he's as war-hungry as even though he's the most war-hungry person, driven by the Ikuria,
yeah,
he still does what he thinks is best for Arcadia. Like, up until the end when he fully becomes corrupted by the Ikuria.
Yeah, just like goes off the rails pretty much, yeah.
When he goes off the rails, but in the beginning, he's such a charming guy, like, he is someone, like, yes, he tells the people of Dalmasca that he is, like, ruling over them, but he tries to make himself as sociable as possible, like, having Miguelo sit at his table during the dinner.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And then there's the care that he actually gives towards his brother Larsa.
Yeah.
Like, because even though he's a villain, he's a family man.
Yeah, well, okay.
Even though he killed his own father.
I was gonna say, like, he killed his father, and he also killed two of his brothers, who, like, kind of, like, were, like, in competition for, like, a spot, but, like, he still cares for Larsa even despite that. So, family man might not be too.
But
accurate,
he's got a loving relationship with Larsa.
Yeah.
And with Larsa, he's and because he knows that because he feels like if Larsa gets into office, he's too young.
Yeah.
Other politicians.
Yeah, like literally everyone wants Vayne out and Larsa in, but like Vayne doesn't want that to happen because Vayne just doesn't think Larsa's old enough and wise enough to take on the role of a leader yet.
Take on the role of a leader and not be manipulated.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Vayne literally takes out his own enemies in the political system.
Yeah.
For that reason, and it's so genius.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to his corruption, you just feel a great tragedy with it, because you see this man who is such a charming politician, you know, someone that everyone that works with him respects him, like Gabranth and everything.
Yeah.
You see his corruption, and you just feel this great tragedy in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't have to end with his death. It shouldn't have ended with his death.
Yeah.
But there was no way to help it, because
he was just too far gone by that point.
He was too far gone, and the Ikuria... God, the Ikuria are such an amazing concept, too. Like, gods that manipulate everything. And even he is, to a rogue Ikuria, he is still just a puppet to them.
Yeah.
And just the tragedy of afterwards, everything that happens with Larsa still becoming the new emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is just a tragedy for him. And, like, honestly, I feel like both Venat and fucking Vayne belong in the same tier.
Yeah, and I personally would want to put... in that case, where would you put Venat? Because I personally, like... I remember, like, I know, like, Vayne is, like, one of your, like, top 5 like Final Fantasy villains.
I'd put them in S tier, like both above Shuyin.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Cause for me, Vayne really has grown on me. I don't like Vayne. The thing with Vayne is I just think his like motivation's like kind of weak. I don't usually care too much about motivation if like the actual character behind it's still really interesting. But like I think you kind of set my expectations a little bit too high before I played the game first because
that was my bad. Yeah, I did not mean to.
Yeah, because you said like he was basically like Final Fantasy's Arvis pretty much, and like Arvis from FE4 for those that don't know. But like the thing is like Arvis like was genuinely trying to make the world a better place. He just fell over the wrong crowd and just like ended up making things worse. Whereas Vayne just wants power.
Vayne wants power and for Arcadia to be he wants Arcadia to be great.
Yeah.
They're both great. Like both Vana, because Vana.
Yeah, Vana.
We can talk about Vana. Yeah. Vana's like the most defiant of the gods. Like
because basically the Ikuria are like basically like the gods of Ivalice. But like the thing is like the Ikuria are not supposed to get involved with like human affairs. But like they've started kind of like manipulating things to their advantage to like make sure that, like they stay like relevant, I guess. And Vana was the one who was an Ikuria who really didn't like that whole approach. So he decides to descend into the human realm and to help out Vana to like conquer Dalmasca and to become the new.
You mean Vayne?
Vayne. Who did I say?
Yeah, you said Vana.
Oh yeah, yeah. Vana helps out Vana. Anyways, but he helps Vayne. Tries to help Vayne conquer Dalmasca and become the new Dynast King to rid humanity from like the control of gods, because he thinks that's like he doesn't like the Ikuria. He thinks the Ikuria don't have the right to meddle in human affairs, so he decides to forcibly remove their connection from humanity altogether. And I don't know why, but that's just cool to me.
It really is, and it kind of left the world of 12 open because 12 because every other Ivalice game after for Tactics A and Tactics A2, they all take place in the same Ivalice as 12.
Yep.
Which is such a nice detail, and you do deal with the Ikuria in both of those games.
Mm-hmm. But granted, I think in Tactics Advance, you don't really know what's the Ikuria at that point because I don't think FF12 came out yet. But
FF12, A2 was 2003, so yeah.
A2.
No, A1 was 2003. Okay, yeah. Advanced.
I was gonna say A2 was on a DS. There's no way in hell that was out in A2 yet.
Yeah, but the Ikuria, just a great concept. Both are S tier, and God, I know. Can I just say, I think all the FF12 antagonists are S tier.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with Sid. I don't know about Gabranth, but that's just because I'm
Gabranth is high A. Let's be fair here.
Yeah, I was gonna put maybe here-ish, top of A.
Yeah, he's because him and Bosch.
Yeah.
Really. Him and Bosch, they're two sides of the same coin. Bosch, because they're both from the Fallen Kingdom of Rosaria, both Bosch and Gabranth.
Yep.
But Bosch felt that he needed to side with Dalmasca, while Gabranth, he felt Dalmasca was the one responsible for it all.
Yeah,
and they did nothing. Yeah. They doomed them to Arcadia's fall, and
and Gabranth kind of sees Bosch as the ultimate traitor in that respect.
And also the fact that he ruins his own brother's reputation.
Yeah.
By slaying the king of Dalmasca.
Yeah, Gabranth is the one who puts everything into motion, basically.
And it's just great. And also his relationship with Larsa.
Mm-hmm.
Who is... And just how much he truly cares for Larsa to the point that he'll even go against Vayne in the final battle for that.
Yeah, oh my god. That's one of my favorite fucking lines in the entire series, where it's Gabranth shows up after the first phase of Vayne's final boss, and Vayne is Vayne's just hey Gabranth, protect. I'm gonna take these guys out. You protect Larsa, okay? And then Gabranth just pulls out his sword, points it right at Vayne. He's like, yes, I will protect Lord Larsa.
Yes, and again, he's as much as Bosch is Ash's shield.
Mm-hmm.
He is Larsa's shield.
Yeah,
in the best way, and you kind of think it might have been just another Golbez situation in a way, but he develops way past that.
Yeah.
Again, and his final moments with Bosch,
mm-hmm.
where he's where he hands over his helmet so that Bosch takes over the role of Gabrant.
Yeah, because like Bosch's reputation has been so damaged that like there's no way he can go back to being Bosch after this.
No, but he can still retain his royal knightness. And that's why both, like, neither Bosch nor Gabrant could be considered in a vacuum.
Yeah, no.
And that's why I love...
That's kind of like the entire cast in a nutshell of F12, I feel like. Like, I find it kind of difficult to talk about each one individually because I feel like they all work best when discussed, like, as a collective whole.
They do. Like, I feel like Sid we can discuss on his own, but we'll have to bring up Balthier.
Yeah, we will, but yeah.
But, like, yeah, like, God. And it's why if we're not going to put him on S tier, he's pretty much just knocking on the door of S tier.
He's like top of A.
He's like banging on the door or banging at the gate, being like, "Let me in, let me in."
So Ian, stop sitting in front of the door. Let me in here.
Yeah, but because we want to be fair, not to put too many people in S tier.
Yeah, because like we already have more people in S tier than we do in any other tier.
Yeah, but there's one more person, and I will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Bob Sheehan.
I'd put him above Vane.
Oh really? Okay, interesting.
Because replaying 12, just his relation. Cause actually no, put him next to Vana because he was the original one that was talking to Vana.
Yeah.
I'd put him like above Vana, like
either,
like, because like he was the one that discovered the Nethicite originally in 12.
Yeah. And Dr. Sid, I just call him Dr. Sid because like there's so many fucking Sids in it. We always have Sid Olstein here. But, like,
yeah, Dr. Sid, yeah.
And like he's just like it's sort of like Hojo, which is like the archetypal mad scientist who's kind of like like the one you can like back a lot of the shit in FF12 too.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, I find like he's so like I don't know. Go and continue what you were saying. I kind of cut you off there. Sorry about that.
But like he is the character like Sidolphus Demon Bonanza.
Yes. That's
his full name. Like he is such a cool like he's the mad scientist trope to like a C. Mm-hmm. But you kind of see from Balthier's perspective like the tragedy of him because he like Balthier mentions the Nethicite corrupting him. Mm-hmm. And Balthier delivers the best line in the game with it's like to Ash.
He's like, "Don't give your life for a stone."
And that's just a powerful line because Balthier saw what happened firsthand with Dr. Sid.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then you see like how much he relies on Vana. Like Vana and Sid are both like are kind of more partners in crime than Vana and Vane are.
Yeah. Actually, like there's something I wanted to mention with Vana that I kind of forgot. Is like like the like right before like the last phase of the final boss with like the Undying like when like Vane is like walking out like into like the like outside of like the Bahamut and like he's like sorry Vana, I couldn't do what we were trying to do, and Vana basically just kind of goes like it's fine, it was fun. Here have a late game anime power up, and I don't know why, I just like think that's funny.
That is pretty nice.
Yeah.
But with him and Sid, like him and Sid, they feed off each other because Sid wants to see what Vana wants.
Yeah.
Sid wants to see the world that Vana wants to create. Mm-hmm. And using the Nethicite, even though he's gone mad with power, it's another great one. And then when we get to his relationship with Balthier, where it's shown that he does care about Balthier.
Yeah.
It's just if Balthier's getting in his way, then he has to sacrifice. He's willing to sacrifice his son.
Yeah.
For his goals.
Yeah.
Which is something that's usually in Final Fantasy, you don't see that. You usually see, his son would be in danger with that. No, he realizes it and becomes a good guy or dies protecting his son.
Yeah, no. Whereas Dr. Sid like is absolutely willing to kill Balthier to get if he gets in the way of like his goal here.
Yeah, and another thing is the final fight with him where Balthier like tries to really reach out to him one last time. Mm-hmm. And it's just unfortunate that he cannot.
Yeah.
And just the tragedy that, like, it's the tragedy of him in Balthier that really makes him S tier, because, again, I think 12 has some of the best writing in the series.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, 12, if you want to take a masterclass on writing a good story for video games, play FF12.
Yeah, just like a really good story where like everything ties together. It's such a good story.
Yeah, God.
Also, like, I can I just say I really like Dr. Sid's voice acting.
That's because the British, like, they get classically London theater trained voice actors for this, because almost all the FF12 cast never appear in any other video games aside from Gideon Emery.
Yeah, who was just like, shows up ever so often. Yeah.
Like, yeah, Gideon Emery, like, Balthier, if I told you that Balthier from Final Fantasy XII and Gaius from Fire Emblem Awakening share the same voice actor,
yeah,
nobody would believe you.
Yeah, well, okay, never mind fucking Gaius. How about fucking Dwyer from Fates sharing a voice actor with fucking Balthier?
I know, right? But, like, yeah, FF12 is a game that's sold with its, like, voice cast, too.
Yeah.
And that's... Because, like, I sometimes will disagree with the idea that a character is only good because of their voice.
No.
12 is a game that the characters are already amazing.
But, like, the voice acting just helps them, like, elevate them that much more.
It's why it's impossible to keep them away from S tier here.
Yeah.
Though the next person, like, are you ready to move on? Or?
Yes, I am.
The next person, I'd say I'd put him in, like, high B, maybe low A.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, put him above Garland.
Yeah, because Barthandelus, or Galeth Dysley, a.k.a. Barthandelus.
Yeah.
I've been playing 13.
Also known as Emperor Palpatine, if you so wish.
Yeah. I've been playing 13 on my streams.
Yeah, like he's like currently he's like just about to finish 13. And I'm like, yeah.
And I forgot just how much of a compelling villain Barthandelus is. Like, his goal. Well, actually, I just beat 13 on a personal file recently. Again.
Yeah, you did. But like you're still like you're just about to finish it on the stream.
Yeah, and it's just like Barthandelus is such a compelling villain because, you know, he's someone that's more of a puppet himself, despite puppeting the people of Cocoon.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and you just see him, and he's just like, he comes off as generic McEvil sometimes, which is not bad. Again, that's what made Garland so fun.
Yeah.
Like FF1 Garland.
Yeah, but also like Dysley is like he's like there's much more. You can also tell that there's much more going on here than he's letting on at first.
Yeah, and then even though you defeat him at the end, he still tricks the players.
Yep.
Into giving what he wants, because his death leads to Orphan appearing.
Yeah.
Or him becoming Orphan.
Yeah. And then like you have to kill Orphan, because then like
otherwise the world is still in danger. It's a kind of, because Orphan dying will destroy Cocoon.
Yeah. But also Orphan surviving will like destroy the entire world pretty much.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fucked if you do, fucked if you don't situation.
Yeah.
At that point. And the fact that he just gets you there is really good.
Yeah,
and then
God.
And then when you tie in FF13, like Lightning Returns FF13, it like puts a lot more context into him, because he's kind of was a puppet of Buenavelza too.
Yeah. Like Dysley's just like the perfect, like for like the trilogy saga that like the FF13 is. I think Dysley's the perfect like antagonist for the first bit of that.
Yeah, he's like the great starting antagonist.
Yeah, because like he's the one that kind of like he's the guy who incites like the whole thing to begin with, but also he's the one that kind of like sets you up to like kind of like prepares you, for lack of a better way to put it, to like for what's to come.
Yeah. And that's really all I can say.
Yeah.
And God, we're about to reach.
Yeah.
God, I can't. You know, Final Fantasy villains are too good. Let's be fair here.
Yeah, they're so fucking good, dude. Because we're about to make another S tier, because dear Lord, this man does not deserve it.
Above Golbez.
Yeah, I'm willing to. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but he's like the second best villain in the series.
Yeah, Caius is like the perfect fucking like tragic villain.
He is like, and even like we see a lot of his tragedy, but it's like it's not like melodramatic like Seymour.
No.
Okay, it's kind of melodramatic, but. Like, well done melodrama.
I was gonna say it's melodramatic, but like it works this time around.
Yeah, because he's constantly with other serious, like, he comes from the year 700 AF, which is after the fall of Cocoon in 13, where him, the second, and the deuteragonist, Noel Kreis,
and Yule, who is I was about to say
Seer.
Yeah, I was gonna say Obseer, but that's a different game entirely. Dear Lord.
Seer. They're the last three people, and the curse of the Seers are whenever they see a vision, they die.
Yeah.
And so that just leaves Caius and Noel to be the last two people in the world.
Yeah, and Caius, as like Yule's protector, is hell bent on trying to find a way to like let Yule survive and actually like live her own life. That like he like decides to go through like all of the different timelines to try and like save Yule, but like every single time he fails and Yule dies, and just like constantly seeing the woman he's supposed to protect just like die in front of him so many times eventually just breaks him.
Yes, to the point that like he has the heart of chaos in him, and he successfully, might I add, pushes Noel to kill him.
Yeah.
To doom the fucking world into a stopped time, which, God, the transition to 13.2 and Lightning Returns is a lot more perfect than people realize.
Yeah, like it's weird. It's really fucking weird though, especially like for me when I was first playing it. I was like because like fucking like Sarah dies, but like the happy like ending song is still playing. I'm just like, is this supposed to happen? Did I get the bad ending here? What the hell's going on here?
I mean, either ending is the like. There is an alternate ending though.
Yeah, there actually is. I knew there was like an alternate ending.
Yeah, because 13.2, your choices actually matter, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is a fun addition. Which is a fun thing to do in a choice game, Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
I had to throw that in there, but I mean, Caius. Yeah. But Caius, even the most ardent 13 haters who've played 13.2,
they'll still agree that Caius is excellent. Yeah.
And then you reach his arc in Lightning Returns.
Yeah. Where it's like he finally got it what he wanted, but now that like he's just like he's completely like hollow and just like devoid of anything, that's like he can't even really be happy about it anymore.
Yeah, because like, yeah, he stopped the world, he stopped time, but his Yule is still dead.
Yeah.
So he's haunted by the ghost of, well, not haunted per se, but like...
Yeah, taunted more, like, I guess would be the best word.
Taunted by the ghosts of Yule, because it's like, Yule wants him to move on.
Yeah. And then, like...
But
yeah, and
for
like,
him, he just refuses to listen.
Yeah, and then, like, Nolan, in the hand, like, understood that, and so, like, Pete did, basically.
Yeah. But that's really all I can say about Caius, because... Caius is someone that you need to experience.
Yeah,
he's like the villain that you can talk about him all you want, but
like, you need to see him in action to really grow to appreciate him.
Him and I'd say the best villain of the series.
Yeah,
that you'll need to experience. Like, but now we move on to someone else who I can't tell if I want to put him in C or B tier.
I would put him in B tier, honestly, because like I would put him like maybe like below Sin. Ish.
Yeah, Sinish, because Bunavelza, like, he's one of the FNC gods you actually meet.
Yeah, and like, I actually do think Bunavelza is really cool because like the reason, like, he wants to, like, he's a god who wants to genuinely understand humanity and like be able to like bond with them, but because of like all the chaos within every single like person, he can't, because like he's the god of like. Etro's the goddess of chaos, and he's like the opposite end of that. So like he can't interact with anything that's chaos in it. So like he basically he makes lightning his own personal like whatever the word would be, and basically like to what he says, free humanity, when in reality he's just like he wants her to like get rid of like all the chaos in the world so that he can actually like do stuff in the world.
Yeah,
I don't know how to put it, but it's like. Bunavelza's cool.
He really is, like, and another thing is that, like, he's hinted out throughout the entire trilogy.
Yeah, like, even as far back as FF13.
And also, like, the fact is that, like, he, like, and much like all the other gods of FNC, he wants to open the door to Etro's gate.
Yeah. because like
which costs.
That's just a thing that all the gods and all the fallacy want to do in the universe.
Because apparently in the world of FNC, having control over the realm of death is the most powerful thing you can have.
Yeah.
Which I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not as compelling as Bartanilus to me, if I'm being fair.
He's just very ultimately pretty standard god antagonist, but I still think he does enough interesting things where it's like he warrants this spot here.
And there's in no way close to Caius.
Yeah, no, dear Lord, no.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who I'd say is just kind of there, though, if we're ready to move on.
Yeah, is Sid Alstein.
Sid Alstein, because I love Type 0 with a passion.
Yeah. By the way, Type 0 is the one, side spin-off game we have. We don't have Final Fantasy Tactics or anything like that, just because, Rayek is not familiar enough with, Final Fantasy Tactics or FF12 Remnant Wings. That's why we don't have, full Thanos or the Judge of Wings here for FF12.
Yeah.
So we decided to keep, Type 0 in here because we want to talk about Type 0, man. Let us have this.
Type 0 is such a good game. As much as I love it, Sid Alstein's just kind of... Well, okay, he's a presence throughout the story, but he doesn't come into being a main presence till late game. He's kind of like Xanda meets, Garland, in a way.
Yeah.
Where it's like... And then when he becomes the Russian Arbiter in Endgame, that's when... Because there's a whole prophecy that's... Funny thing is, a lot of people... One of the things I love about Type 0 is that one of the biggest elements of the main story is introduced in the intro.
Yeah.
When 9 and 9 meet 9, Tempest Finis will happen.
Yep.
And, well, Tempest Finis happens right after the Academia of Concordia conquers the entire world, and Sid causes Tempest Finis to happen.
Yeah. Because his whole thing was he wanted to fulfill the prophecy to he wanted to stop the endless cycle of the world, right? Because he eventually found out what the hell was actually going on here, and he wanted to put an end to it, right?
And the only one that can do that is the ultimate. He wanted to also become the ultimate warrior known as the Agito.
Yeah.
Which is meant to and so in his attempt to become Agito, he literally becomes the Russian Arbiter.
Mm-hmm.
And the Russians are these entities that when the timeline is meant to end,
they're the ones who actually they're the one who comes in and kills everyone to actually let the timeline end and restart.
Yes, because Type 0, you're on the 4 billionth loop at that point.
Yeah.
4 billion plus loop.
Which first of all, one of the most genius ways to end pretty organically integrate a New Game Plus in the story, but hey.
Also, it's kind of funny, Type 0 also has the Become a Lassie ending that's not an official ending, which, God, have you ever done that ending?
I've done, the true ending, I've also done, the good ending, quote-unquote, where it's, the thing actually does, stop.
Yeah, where the game ends, but, you know that choice where you become a Lassie?
Yeah.
If you click that, you just get an endless battle against the Russians.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end until everyone dies and the world resets. But yeah, but with Sid becoming the Russian Arbiter, he is set to cause the world to have another spiral again.
Mm-hmm.
But because, fun fact, the Russians have come by in they've reached this point every single loop. Yeah. But what happens every single time with the Class 0?
Huh?
That changes up.
What's up?
They become Lassie.
Yeah.
It's only in this final timeline they don't become Lassie.
Yeah.
But with Sid, and are actually able to stop Sid because with Sid loses himself becoming the Russian Arbiter.
Yeah.
But he's kind of just a general that's there.
Yeah.
Until then, but that's kind of the whole thing about the world of Type 0 is that because another cool thing about the world of Type 0, because if you'll let me gush.
Yeah.
Is that when you die,
more people need to play Type 0, by the way.
More people need to play Type 0. most people only played Type 0, only bought Type 0 because the FF15 demo came with it.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking tragedy.
Yeah. Go get it on Steam. It's only like $30, I think.
$20.
$20.
Yeah, but I'd say as a character, he's kind of high C, low B.
Yeah, I was thinking like I would put him like right here, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think I would put him above X-Death just because, like, I don't know, like, I like the idea that they were going for, at least. It's like he's not really a presence in the story, but, like, he at least, like, there's a reason, like, I kind of feel like it kind of fits that he's not really a presence in, like, the kind of story that Type 0 is, where it's, like, it's a war story, basically. So, like, well, but the conflict isn't A, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, yeah, Type 0, play it. I will say it's the darkest Final Fantasy so far.
Yeah, it was the first M-rated Final Fantasy game for a reason.
First and only.
Yeah. Oh, is Stranger Paradise not?
Oh, no, Let me look at Stranger Paradise rating.
Okay. But for those that don't know, the very first thing you see in Type 0 is a bloody dying chocobo. If you just want an idea for what the fucking tone of that's gonna be.
Bloody chocobo, it's a bloody chocobo, and you see people... Okay, no, Stranger Paradise M-rated, but yeah, okay. You see a bloody chocobo, you see students surrendering for their lives only to be, like beat down with the butt of guns and everything and shot point blank in the face.
Yeah.
It starts you off heavy.
Yeah.
So, just warning you, don't expect a silly adventure.
Yeah, no.
This is one of the darkest games in the franchise.
Yeah. Something you probably can't expect, though, is some of the best combat in the series. But anyways.
Oh, God, the combat in Type 0 is so good.
Yeah. Anyways, let's actually get back on track here.
Let's get back on track.
So now we move on to FF14, which is, which might be some pretty interesting, discussion. So first off, we have, the guy for, the main guy for A Realm Reborn, which is La Habrea, and he's kind of like, I just kind of see him like a slightly better Zavis, where it's like he just kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
I'd put him in like C tier personally.
Yeah, I'd say C tier myself, because one of the things that I will say is that okay, I'm gonna get fucking crucified.
Mm-hmm.
Intel Shadowbringers 14 did not have the most interesting villains.
Yeah.
People overhyped. Okay, Heavensward, people hype it up to hell and back, but God, Heavensward is overhyped. A Realm Reborn is just a decent starting story.
Yeah, it's a good starting story, and like that's perfectly fine. And like, I kind of wish they would just kind of left it to like Gaius being like the main antagonist for A Realm Reborn, and like they introduced La Habrea later, because like La Habrea is like, because like A Realm Reborn is so focused on like, because ask me, right? It's so focused on like establishing like the setting and the main cast of characters and all that. La Habrea just kind of falls to the wayside until like towards the end.
And yeah, the reason,
and then like also like, I'm sorry. Another thing is like he's supposed to introduce you to the Asians, who are kind of like the main antagonistic force of the game, and like that's fine and all, but I still wish he was introduced later in the story, if that was his goal.
Same. But, like, yeah, 14 A Realm Reborn, like, they're trying so hard to do a rebooted story.
Mm-hmm.
Because because the original 14 flopped so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And it's kind of clear.
I kind of wanted, like, I forget her name, but, like, the, Nail, I think is her name. Like, the other, like, Garly in general alongside Gaius, who's, like, sort of, like, the main antagonist for, original FF14. But I couldn't find anything on FF14's story. I could only do like the light wiki diving that I did.
FF14's original story has sadly been lost to time for the most part.
Yeah, sucks.
Like if you want to know anything, just I think the only person that really talks about it is Clement J64, who did Clement Remembers Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentions the story just for like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. And like just from what I've read of the wiki, I think Nails actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
But anyways.
And now we get to the two most overhyped fuckers in this fucking thing.
So guys, are ready for the fucking Seymour rant 2.0?
God. Okay, this one is more about how great a villain this guy is. He's not as bad as Seymour. He does not belong in the same tier as Seymour.
So like C tier-ish?
Bottom of C.
Okay.
But also, the thing, D next to Seymour.
Oh, really? Okay.
Above Seymour, but next to, because the thing with these guys, you know how Daisley is considered generic evil Pope?
Literally just fucking generic evil Pope, pretty much.
Generic evil Pope that people are like, oh, he's such a compelling... He fucking isn't. The compelling villains didn't fucking happen till... Like, okay, this... I have more than enough issues with fucking Heaven's Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, second half of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't give a single fuck about Harshafont. The fact that Nanamo in the end of Nanamo turned out to be alive. I know I'm rambling here, but you gotta give me fucking this. You gotta give me this.
The writer of F-14 is just fucking allergic to leaving people dead.
Yeah, he's allergic to leaving people dead when it's the most tragic thing. When there was a lot more story potential with Nanamo dead than Nanamo alive.
Yeah.
And then they give us the most generic villains that people think, oh, they're such compelling. No, they're not. Shut the fuck up and learn what the fucking narrative is, you fucking...
Well, okay. I do want to say that I do think that at least the concept behind Thornton and Nidhogg is still really, really fucking cool because like basically like you like this guy who rules like this kingdom who like has been in this constant war against the dragons, and like the dragons are just like all they've really been doing is fighting back, but like at this point they've just gone beyond like fighting in self-defense, and now they just fucking want revenge against this guy. And like the reason why this guy is continuing the thing is because he literally just doesn't fucking know any better.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the concept is actually really fucking cool, but just the execution is just not really me.
Because people focus more on the concept than the execution. And that's the thing. That's one of the things I hate about the I'm gonna go to ramble about the Final Fantasy fan base for a second.
Oh boy.
You guys focus way too more on your fucking concepts than the fucking execution. That's why you people think Seymour is anything more than just a fucking awful villain. It's why you fuckers think Final Fantasy VII is great and ignore the fucking fantasy part of it, you fucking ignorant dumbasses! Learn reading comprehension for the fucking sake! Learn it, then learn to actually... Then actually learn fucking critical reading, you fucking retards! I swear to fucking God.
I can't tell if he's just doing it better, if he's like actually genuinely fucking pissed off with this.
It's a bit of both!
Okay.
It's a bit of fucking both. And I'm, god damn it, like, seriously, seriously, people.
Yeah,
good, just because it's a good concept doesn't mean, you know what? Like, I'm trying to think of something here, but god damn. Like, fucking cryptocurrency. Good concept, possibly. Then it's like the worst execution since fucking Henry VIII executed his fucking wives. Okay, rant fucking over.
Do you feel better now?
Slightly.
Okay.
Slightly.
Alright, so moving on.
I just had to get that out there because, God.
Alright, so I guess moving on to someone who actually we do like.
A tier.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing, he's a character that develops throughout every single expansion up until his death in Endwalker.
Yeah.
And he's just the most, much like Cypher is to Squall, Xenos to your Warrior of Light is just the most petty person.
Yeah, like I fucking love I love
he's
Xenos.
The Seto Kaiba.
Yeah, I was gonna say like in this fucking universe, it's like every single fucking antagonist here has like 1,000,001 somewhat understandable reasons to do what they're doing. Xenos literally just wants to fucking fight the MC, and that's it. And I love it.
Yes, he literally goes to the moon to try to fight you.
Yes.
He literally goes to the moon. It's the same energy as Seto Kaiba building a elevator to fucking heaven just to play Yukimoto in a fucking card game.
Yep.
Or just to play the Pharaoh in a fucking card game.
Yep.
And you've got to respect that Air Force energy.
Yeah.
Like as one of my friends would say, Black Air Force energy. This guy fucking has it.
I also I love just how self-aware he really is too. Because like for example, like he like there's a scene in I think it's in Shadowbringers where it's like one of his like friends basically like calls him out for being like for like something that he did in a previous, I don't remember what it was, but basically he says like basically he says He's like, what the fuck was your reason for doing this, Zenos? And Zenos basically just goes like, would you feel better if I had a good reason? Like, would that be enough to defuse this whole thing? Because if so, maybe a beast skin would suit you better. And like, I just love that. Be there?
Yeah, same.
Okay. Yeah.
Same, but like, yeah. There's just... And he's also just refreshing, because like, again, I've ranted about the 14 villains just now.
Yeah.
And the fan base.
Boy, did you ever, yes.
And God, like... But like, Zenos is honestly... Like, he is not the best of the best, but...
No, he's not.
Because he actually develops throughout each part, like, even helping you at points.
Yeah.
Like, even outright helping you just because it... Because if you failed, it'd get in the way of his dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
It's just so refreshing to see someone that you actually, like, both in concept and execution, love.
Yeah. Also, this has nothing to do with Zenos, but I have a request. Can we move Shuyin down to the top of A tier? Because I know we're gonna put these two in S tier, and like, if we do, then like that's gonna create like the double line where it's
Go
like,
ahead.
Okay, yeah. Because like,
go the fuck ahead.
Yeah, it's gonna create the double line where it's like there's only one thing on the second line. I hate how that fucking looks.
That's fair, but you know what? Speaking of, remember that we once lived.
Yes. Where do we put him?
Next to Golbez.
Okay.
Like above Golbez, but next to.
Yeah.
Cause, fucking, like this guy, like he's. I blinked on his name for just 10 seconds. Fuck.
Emmett Silk.
Emmett Silk. I was about to call him Harshafont. My brain got mixed up for a second, but Emmett Silk. Emmett Silk is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he appears to you for, like, him and Arden have a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because he came out right after Arden.
I was gonna say, like, he's basically just like Goth Arden, pretty much.
He's Goth Arden of, unlike, and he's from a race of people that, like, he's an Ascian as well, much like Mahabrea.
Yeah.
But, like, he comes from a city of Amarat, which he was there to experience the fall of it.
Yeah.
And how the people of Amarat have become forgotten over time.
Mm-hmm.
He is the last, like, remaining remnant, much like Shuyin is the last remaining remnant of the real Zanarkand.
Yeah.
And he just kind of is seething with it.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, and you just see the world, like, and he's with you and helps you throughout the journey of Shadowbringers,
mm-hmm.
while also trying to, like, and also while showing you the truth of the world, bringing about, like, the eternal light.
Yeah.
And the dude just, again, he's one of those characters, much like how we said it was Caius, you have to play the game.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain him without actually playing, because a lot of his
which for someone like me who like has to play through all the other expansions first, it might be a little difficult for me, but I'll get around to it at some point.
I mean, you could literally just play Realm Reborn and then buy your way into the other stuff.
I suppose.
But yeah, anyway, but he's a great villain purely because, like, he's just got such a great delivery. He's much like Arden, who we're gonna bring up next.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a cheeky asshole.
Yeah.
He's a manipulator too.
Yep.
And
he's also just plain. Again, he's just plain fun to watch.
And he's plain fun to watch while also being as sympathetic as Caius. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, him and Caius both reach the sympathy factor to the max.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where it's like you feel conflicted fighting him.
Yeah.
I know I did when I played the game.
Yeah, it's like this really shouldn't be happening, but like you leave me with no other choice there, guy.
Yes. And honestly, yeah, play if you can't afford a subscription fee, play Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, like
just realize that the villains don't get really good until Shadowbringers with this guy, because like the Garlean Empire itself is just the villain of fucking Stormblood.
Yeah, but like the Ascians are like the true like antagonists behind like most things, pretty much. Also, what's also fun fact: Emmett Selk is the original Solus von Galvis, who is with the guy who founded the Garlean Empire.
Yes, exactly. And that's just a nice little bit of lore stuff. Like, he's just this undying guy that's been there forever.
Yeah.
And, like, he just has fun with messing with your people.
Yeah.
And, again, like, if you can't play FF14, at least look up a story thing and watch, and then if someone streams Shadowbringers, watch them play Shadowbringers.
Yeah.
The other villains you can just read recaps on, because you'll have much more fun with their concepts.
Yeah.
Than their fucking actual existence.
Okay, let's not get back on this fucking rant, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so Emmett Silk, S tier in the top 3.
Yes. Yeah, I would absolutely recommend playing FF14 too. I'm not an MMO person at all, but like I would still play FF14 because its story and the lore is just like that interesting to me.
It is. And speaking of
top 3,
who I'd say is the best villain,
yeah,
Arden Izunya.
Yes. Like, okay, so like we've said that like people like Caius and like Emmett Selk and like Kuja and all of them are pretty sympathetic. I think Arden is the only antagonist in this series that's basically just full on justified.
He is full on justified.
Yeah.
He is fucked by fate its fucking self.
Yep.
Like Destiny straight up told him, "Here's your middle finger.
Yeah.
You're gonna become the world's greatest threat. We're forcing you into this. Fuck you."
Yeah. And like
your brother's betraying your ass.
Yeah, the dude basically literally just gets like he just gets sent through fucking hell and back for no other, like, just because he wanted to save people, because like he was the original guy who was like saving the world from the Star Scourge. But like by doing that, he like was absorbing it into his own person, basically becoming a demon. And so like he eventually, like the crystal who like determines who is becomes the king of Lucius, deemed him unworthy because of all the Star Scourge in him. But like the fucking, like, that was his fucking job. Like, what the fuck would you expect him to do?
And his brother used that against him as well.
Yeah.
His brother, who became the start of Lucius, became on Bloodline.
Yeah.
Like, used it against him as a way to kill him, or attempt to.
Yeah.
Even killing Arden's own lover from back in the day.
Yeah.
And then when you play episode Arden and you see his, like, when he first awakens on Angel Rock Island.
Yeah.
Or Angel Guard Island. And just his power and how he's freaked out by it because of how many people he kills.
Yeah.
He was meant to be, for him, he wanted to be a savior.
Yeah.
And one of the great things also is that his design reflects, like, his design just reflects his whole corruption too. Let's be fair here.
Yeah, it does.
Because he shows a full hobo energy.
Yes,
like,
he does.
He looks like a homeless person, but he makes himself such a higher place in everything.
Yeah.
Like, Arden just literally, like, you'd think he's just some random homeless guy on the street.
Yeah.
If he didn't go to official meetings and stuff.
There's like you know those memes where it's like how like big companies think men want to dress versus how men actually want to dress. Arden is on the end of how men actually want to dress. I would fucking kill to like be able to rock fucking Arden's look. Jesus Christ.
Same. I'd love to rock his look. But yeah, Arden. And another great thing about Arden is he just fucking like. And then when he fully accepts his like destiny and everything, he just rocks it, you know?
Yeah,
like,
he's just like, okay, like, fine then. I'll fucking make it. I'll make myself everyone's fucking problem then if you really want me to that badly.
Yeah, like in episode Arden, like when he first comes into Lucius for the first time.
Yeah, and then like you control him, he's basically just like a souped up Noctis in gameplay.
Souped up Noctis in gameplay, which he's a perfect reflection of Noctis too. Let's bring that up too. Because Noctis, Noctis's whole deal is like him accepting his own destiny as the savior of light.
Yeah.
And Arden is the rejected savior of light.
Yeah.
Who got fucked over by Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
Who we'll bring up next to end this all off.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and just his villainy throughout the entire game, like, you know, how he helps you out at first just to trap you, like with Titan.
Yeah.
And then as the game goes on, he's helping you, but you're very cautious of him.
Yeah.
And then, like, you get to fucking Altissia. Where it's just straight up, he reveals his role in the story and kills Lunafreya, pushes Noctis to keep going on his journey, despite also making Ignis go blind.
Yeah.
In the most epic... Okay.
Fucking
can I just say...
Episode Ignis is so good.
What?
Episode Ignis is so fucking good.
Episode Ignis is so good, and I will say this... top 5 best fights in the series, Ignis versus Arden is so good, especially the alternate ending version if you do that one.
Yeah.
Like, both of those are just so good, and Arden just pushes everything. Like, even, he has one of my favorite moments when he, you know that time stop moment where, like, on the train where Noctis is chasing Arden?
Yeah.
Darren DePaul delivering Prompto-style lines with that was just so perfect. And then his final boss fight. It's more of a cinematic fight, much like the Sephiroth fight, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's like, just how he goes toe-to-toe with you until he gets the only Lucian royal arm that's exclusively to the line of Lucius.
Yeah.
The Sword of the King.
Yeah.
Or Sword of the Father.
Yeah.
And that one, and just the symbology there.
Like, also, like, just before the final boss, where it's like you go into the throne room and, like, Noctis goes in there, she's like, off that chair, Jester, the king sits there.
Another epic line, but it's like, again, like, Arden is just another amazing character that 15 has a ton of issues. Let's be fair here. 15,
like, 15 is not perfect by any means, but, like,
15 is not perfect by any means. It's still my 5th favorite Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
It's because of the characters. 15 has the 15 and 12 have the strongest cast, if I'm being fair.
Yeah.
Like, cause, like, the Chocobros, Aranea, even Luna.
Yeah.
Like, Luna.
Like for how, like, ultimately kind of short-lived she is, she's good.
Yeah, and I still think Arden to this day is the best villain in the series.
Yeah, and he's also, he manages to strike the perfect balance between, like, sympathetic, kind of kooky uncle, and also just, like, fucking, like, love-to-hate asshole villain, like, ever. And it's so good.
It is, like, he is someone that, like, if you're gonna try 15, like, 15 is available on Game Pass, by the way, if you have Game Pass.
Yeah.
I would suggest playing that game and playing just for Arden.
Yeah.
Like, Arden, like, if you're gonna play for nothing else, play for the most charming... Also, can I just, gush out Darren DePaul real quick?
Please, by all means do.
Everyone has said this, but I didn't know it was possible to want to fuck a voice.
Yeah.
Like, God, or be fucked by a voice. Like,
Darren DePaul is the perfect fucking voice for Arden.
I could not imagine him being voiced by anyone else.
Yeah, no.
Just the charm he gives off. Also in Kingsglaive, I forgot to bring up his role in Kingsglaive.
Oh yeah, well, it's kind of a small role overall, but, like, he just kind of shows up at the beginning. He's like, hey, let us marry Lunafreya to Noctis to further political relations.
Yeah. And just... another great thing about Arden is just how he's there at all times.
Yeah, like even when you can't see him, he's still there in some capacity. Yes.
Like, there's, like, someone back in the day was actually showing screenshots of, like, Arden and also they hint... Fun fact, there's a fun gameplay integration perspective with Arden, too.
Yeah.
You know how you can camp at, like, campsites?
Yeah.
Fun fact, Arden can't go into those campsites.
Really?
Yeah, so he's always... So, like, if he's helping you at, like, in chapter, like, 4 or 6...
Uh-huh.
If you go to a campsite while he's with you...
Yeah.
He will sleep outside of the campsite.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Like, he will mention, that he'll just be sleeping out here.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And also, if you look into his car...
Yeah.
And, like, when he's in, Altissia, or not in Altissia, what's that other, city that Iris is from? Lestalem.
Yeah, Lestalem.
And if you're in Lestalem, you can also see a whole bunch of, documents. If you can see a whole bunch of documents, and if you, like, actually can, like, pay attention, you actually get the twist of his name early.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, if you want to look into his car, you can see a document that says Arden Lucius Calum.
That's cool.
Yeah, because the game will hint at it. The game reveals it outright, but 15 is also a game that you have to actually look at stuff for.
Yeah,
but
it's a game you have to actually pay attention to be able to get the full story if you want.
And with Arden, Arden just becomes even stronger when you piece everything together.
Yeah.
Like, tying it full circle. But we have one more villain to talk about before I go.
There's one more thing I want to say about Arden, and that's like I kind of like how like he's not really like he's the perfect kind of like antagonist, I guess, for Noctis, because like he's not really doesn't really have a whole lot against Noctis himself. He just wants to end the Lucian bloodline once and for all, and that just happens to include Noctis.
And you've not read Dawn of the Future, right?
Not yet, no.
Okay, Dawn of the Future actually helps him out too, because that's Arden's redemption arc.
Yeah.
Because the final villain of Dawn of the Future is Bahamut, as we'll get to.
Why don't we just go and like pull him up here now? Like I think
let's pull him up here now.
Like B tier.
I'd say C.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because he's okay, but
okay.
Not the most compelling.
It almost feels weird calling Bahamut an antagonist, because like he's not like he's more of just like a force of nature than anything else. But like he's definitely responsible for a lot of the stuff that happens throughout the story.
Well, and then I was also gonna bring up Dawn of the Future.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's where he plays his major role.
Yeah.
Because he only really starts going against the party because in Dawn of the Future, Noctis, Luna Freya, Aranea, Iadolus' granddaughter, Luna, or not Luna, Sol is her name,
mm-hmm.
and Arden all go against Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
And Bahamut, seeing that humans are trying to take control of their destiny, decides, I'm gonna destroy you all.
Yeah, because like he's not really evil per se. It's just like he's in like one of the roles of the Astrals in F-15's universe are to just like keep the world in balance and just like keep it like all together and so on and so forth. And like Bahamut does this in almost kind of like a like fanatical way, just like very brute force, like stone cold, like doesn't give a fuck kind of way.
Yeah, but like and Bahamut, he is not the most compelling, but he's a good final force, and I wish Dawn of the Future got actual game DLC.
Yeah.
Because I would have loved to have the final party be a living Noctis, a living Luna Freya, Sol, and Arden all fighting with you.
Well, the living Arden too, because Arden kind of did actually die at the end of F-15, didn't he?
Yeah, but like, and Arden gets his redemption arc because of that. Like, in the end, he in the end of Dawn of the Future, he is with Noctis and Luna Freya as they get their family together and everything.
Yeah.
Like, they get to... Because another fun fact about 15, that ending screen isn't them in the afterlife. That's them in the Dawn of the Future timeline.
Oh. Interesting.
Yes. So, you see, that's not... A lot of people think, oh, that's Afterlife Luna and Noctis. No, it's not.
Okay, that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's Dawn of the Future, Noctis, and Luna.
Oh, I guess one more show have a fucking eye patchable god-awful F-15 video then. Alright then, cool.
Yep.
So...
But, yeah, that's pretty much the entire villain tier list.
Yeah.
Again, most of them are a lot of them are in S tier, especially later on, like...
Yeah, but that's just because they do legit just become that fucking good later on, in my opinion.
Yeah, like the farther we go down in the Final Fantasy franchise, the better the villains are.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot wait to see how 16 does their villain.
Yeah, I can't, like... Yeah, there's, like, some, like... We didn't get anything from F-16 in, the recent State of Play, right?
No, that's because they Yoshi P confirmed in October we're getting the final trailer.
Okay. So, like, in a month-ish. Cool.
Yeah, in a month-ish. But, yeah. So, I don't know if that means a State of Play, but anyway, like... But yeah, because the villains get better with each game, like, even though they kind of dipped with Bartandalus, especially dipped with Thornton.
Yeah.
Especially dipped with Nidhogg.
Yeah. But they're all like, at the very least, like Thornton and Nidhogg at least have like really fucking interesting concepts, even if like the execution wasn't up to snuff.
Yeah. But then like you've got 12, which has 3 of its 4 main villains in S tier. Then you have 13-2 with Caius.
You got Emmett Selk, you got Arden.
And honestly, it's just villains are always so much fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, with the villains, a good villain you can spend hours gushing about. I could write a whole video on how Arden is an amazing villain. Like, I could do, like, a 3-hour analysis of him.
Yeah.
I could do, like, I could do an analysis of Caius, too, because he's another case. And when I get to 13-2 on my streams, I'm gonna gush about him so much.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, yeah.
But yeah, this do be our tier list.
Yep.
Well, let us know what you think in the comments. If you would change any particular places, if you think there's someone here that should be here that isn't, or there's someone that is here that you think shouldn't be,
And don't say Seymour should be higher. You're higher than you need to be.
I mean, like, I can't fault someone for at the very least liking Seymour's concept, if nothing else.
I mean, Seymour, yeah, again, one of the things about, every Final Fantasy villain, by the way, has a great concept for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, aside from Weiss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even
Weiss.
The Weiss wasn't really much of anything. Anyways, let's not get back on that.
Yeah.
So, I guess that'll just about do it then, huh?
Right.
So, yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Rig, for coming on here with me.
Anytime.
And, I don't know, if we do decide to do another Final Fantasy tier list, I guess we'll come back together to do that again.
Yeah, we could probably do one about, like, lore, like, NPCs. Like, major NPCs.
God, there's so many of those. That would take so much. That would probably take longer than fucking part of member tier list. Jesus Christ. Anyways.
Fair.
Yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you at some point. Probably.
See you later.
Godspeed.